Field. We welcome you to our radio and TV simulcast. Greg Papa, Tom Flores, Jim Plunkett up in the broadcast booth. Hugh Jackson, Tom Flores, has one more shot to get his team a little work in before the season begins in 10 days, and he is pumped up. He is going to play his starters both on offense and defense the first two series of the game tonight.
Yeah, he is, and I'm sure he'd like them to be consistent, a minimum of errors, and score some points and keep them from scoring any points. Get some rhythm going, and I'm sure in the bottom line, when the day is over, he'd like to come out with a victory.
Pete Carroll in his first year as the head coach of the Seahawks, Jim, made history. His team had a losing record at 7-9 and still made the playoffs. They shocked the defending Super Bowl champion Saints in the first round of the playoffs last year, 41-36. But 7-9 a year ago, his first year back on an NFL sideline.
Well, Pop, whatever it takes, and 7-9 was enough to get them into the playoffs and win that first round against a very good New Orleans Saints team. But, I think they're going to have to fare better than that this year in order to get in the playoffs. Everybody in their division is a lot tougher, stronger. San Francisco, L.A. It's going to be a tougher road to hoe this year.
Sebastian Janikowski will kick away. He and Lechler will kick a couple tonight to open. We're underway from Seattle. Hope you enjoy it. And look where this one's going, Tom.
Yeah.
That may land over at Safeco Field. Ichiro doesn't even hit him that far. Tavares Jackson, the new quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks, Tom. Since 2001, it has been Matt Hasselbeck, but now he is a Tennessee Titan after 5 years in Minnesota. The last two spent as Brett Favre's backup. He takes over here as the new quarterback of the Seahawks.
Yeah, a lot of people are counting on him. They want him to be the guy this year instead of Whitehurst.
First and 10, Seattle on their 20, moving from our right to left, and our TV radio simulcast out to north. Marshawn Lynch will not play tonight with an ankle injury, so Leon Washington, the former New York Jet, gets the first carry, and he gets nothing on first down. Russell Okun is out with an ankle injury, so Tyler Columbus will start on the line. It'll be Forsett in later, along with Thomas Clayton and Michael Number 49er, Zach Miller, the Raider tight end from the last 4 years, will start. And Tyler Columbus at left tackle will start with Robert Gallery, the former Raider at left guard, Max Unger at center, and an all-rookie right side of the line, John Moffitt, a third-round pick, and James Carpenter, a first-round pick. Golden Tate goes in motion left to right, followed by Stanford Route. They run the stretch play. Leon Washington, nice play there by Michael Huff to force that back inside. And the Raiders are off to a great start. John Henderson in on that play. Richard Seymour will not play tonight, but he is good to go in 10 days in Denver. It'll be Henderson and Tommy Kelly at D-tackle, and the youngsters Lamar Houston at left end, Matt Shaughnessy at right end. Rolando McClain, the middle linebacker, flanked by the strong side backer Cameron Wimbley. The weak side backer is Quentin Grove. Stanford Route at one corner, DeMarcus Van Dyke at the other for Chris Johnson. And your safeties, you know them, Tyvon Branch and Michael Huff. Third down, and some pre-snap movement here. A false start, says Ed Hockley on Seattle. Called on the struggling right tackle, James Carpenter. They were shocked, Tom, when they drafted him in the first round. He was even shocked he went that high in the draft after a couple of years at Alabama. They have an all-rookie right side of the offensive line, Carpenter at right tackle and Moffitt at right guard, and they are really struggling on their offensive line.
Yeah, so far this year they're disappointed in Carpenter, but he's still a rookie, and that's a tough position to play as a rookie.
There's a blitz. Stevie Brown comes. Rolando McClain comes. They get it out to Forsett. He has room to go. First down, Seattle, out across the 30-yard line. They caught him at a blitz, Jim, and on that side, they lobbed it right over the top for 19 yards to convert on 3rd and 15.
They had the perfect play called, a screen pass to Forsett on the left side, and the Raiders came with a blitz. It was picked up well enough to get the ball off and enough for the first down. It was well-conceived, well-timed play.
Yeah, it was well-conceived, but still, Jim, one of the guys, somebody came that wasn't supposed to come, I believe. And it should have been in coverage.
Yeah, it certainly looked that way.
Stevie Brown came from the secondary. Rolando McClain came from middle linebacker. There's Rolando along with Trevor Scott getting in on that tackle. It's a 2-yard gain. Seattle's not going to have a lot of their number one weapons on offense. Sidney Rice, the former Viking, will not play. Mike Williams will not play tonight. Ben Obamanu, there's going to be a slot wide receiver, won't play. Isaiah Stanback won't play, all because of injury. Good to see Trevor Scott back on the field last week, Tom, against New Orleans after tearing his ACL in Pittsburgh late last year.
Yeah, it's good to see him back and active and showing no signs of the injury.
Second down, little pre-snap movement there. Tommy Kelly came busting through. Was he possibly pulled off by the right guard, John Moffitt? Here's Ed Hockley.
5-yard penalty. It's second down.
Well, Tommy goes early, and the Seahawks get a free 5 yards. Ed Hockley, in his 22nd year as an NFL official, became a ref almost immediately, just 2 years as a non-ref, and now in his 20th year as a referee. One of the very best in the NFL. 2nd and 3, Seattle. Jackson, a short drop, looks left, throws behind Doug Baldwin, the former Stanford Cardinal. Jim ran a slant route there, and there's where Tavares Jackson will get himself into trouble on the short stuff. That slant was well behind his receiver.
Yeah, it certainly was. And Doug Baldwin has really shown himself extremely well in this preseason. A rookie from Stanford, leading receiver for the Seahawks in this preseason with 8 catches for 62 yards. And he also ran a 105-yard kickoff return for the Seahawks, which is an all-time record, even though it's preseason.
It was last week in their game at Denver. They lost 23-20. Seattle 1-2 in the preseason. Raiders 0-3. Forsett comes in on 3rd down and 3. Jackson out of the gun, looks left, time, darts one middle, caught. Golden Tate, first down Seattle. He beat Michael Huff on the crossing route. So, Coach, they have converted twice on 3rd down. A 3rd and 15, they got 19. A 3rd and 3, they get 9.
Yeah, he just went down, took an inside position on Huff. There was a little contact, and he just curled back to the inside, and the ball was thrown high. He makes the catch, and all he needed was about 5 yards for the first down.
No pressure at all from the Raider front four there. 1st and 10. Anthony McCoy, the tight end, slides. Quentin Groves missed a tackle in the backfield on Leon Washington, and Washington will pick up 5 yards. They did not block the backside end, the outside linebacker, Jim, and Groves had a running chance there, but he simply missed the tackle in the backfield.
Yeah, Leon Washington made a great move, a stop as Groves just missed the tackle. Excellent run by Washington to get outside and pick up 6 yards.
We mentioned that Jacoby Ford, Tom, had 3 kickoff returns for touchdowns a year ago, as did Leon Washington. That's the second time he's done that in his career, and he bounced back after that gruesome leg injury he suffered as a Jet at the Coliseum. Jackson going to roll right, good on the move, wide open is the rookie receiver Durham inside the Raider 25. He's bumped down by Stanford route after a 24-yard gain. That is Chris Durham, a 4th-round draft pick out of Georgia, Tom, and that's what this quarterback can do well. Fake the stretch, roll left, and get him on a half roll right, and he's very accurate then.
Well, and Durham is a big target coming across the field from the left side. They believe he's about 6'6", so he becomes an imposing target.
I believe a flag was down on the play. One of the officials took his hat off, so somebody went out of bounds, apparently. This is the final preseason game in the entire NFL. Raiders will begin in 10 days in Denver on September the 12th. Seahawks will begin the day earlier.
There were fouls by both teams on the play. Illegal formation by the offense. Number 15 was lined up in the line of scrimmage, making the formation illegal. There was also a personal foul, unnecessary roughness, horse collar, by the defense, number 26. Those penalties combined, the defensive foul will be enforced 15 yards for an automatic first down.
And the reason the official took his hat off, Tom, he already threw his flag. Yep. He had nothing else to throw.
Yep, that's right.
So these penalties will offset. They get the Raiders for a horse collar. What'd they call that, on Stanford route?
Yeah, they did. It doesn't really look like it. Just briefly, he grabbed the top, but it slid down right away. It doesn't appear to me that it should have been a horse collar tackle.
They are going to be much more strict on that interpretation of the rules, Tom. Their point of emphasis this year on the horse collar. You don't need to actually grab it and pull. If you just start grabbing cloth up there, they're going to call you this year.
Yeah, it's they're going to, if they're going to err, they're going to err on the caution on the safety. Safety is a big issue. 1st and 10, Seattle on the Raider 29-yard line. Golden Tate goes in motion. Nobody follows. The Raiders playing a zone here. Play action. Jackson left flat. He finds Michael Robinson, the former 49er, and he has good yardage inside the 20 and pushed out on the Raider 15-yard line. 14-yard gain as he's thrown to the running backs effectively here.
You know, by the way, the Seattle offense is moving the football. It doesn't seem like that offensive line is having too much trouble. Well,
they're getting rid of the ball quickly, and then some of the issues involved are just the Raider defense being out of position. There's nobody in the areas where they're just popping them. and most of the areas are a little short areas to the backs.
1st and 10, Seattle on the Raider 15. Chris Durham goes wide left, watched by DeMarcus Van Dyke. Golden Tate is right, watched by Rout. Jackson's going for Golden Tate, broken up, intercepted in the end zone by Tyvon Branch. He comes out 10, 15, 20, cuts inside 25, finally dropped on the 26-yard line. Great coverage there by Stanford Rout on Golden Tate. Popped that ball up in the air, Tom, and Tyvon Branch, the strong safety, able to pluck it out of the air in the end zone.
Yeah, Golden Tate ran a post pattern, and he was covered very well. You're right by Rout, and Branch just played it perfectly, coming over from his safety position as he should, reading the quarterback, making the interception, and then making a nice catch.
Raiders will take over on their own 25 when we come back to the Emerald City. A glittering play there by Tyvon Branch on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Tyvon Branch with the interception, but a great play made by Stanford Rout to tip that ball up in the air. Great coverage here, Tom, on Golden Tate running a post route.
Yeah, it was just a nice reaction. It was a good coverage and a reaction. And Tavares was just trying to squeeze that ball, and there wasn't any room to squeeze it in.
Actually, from that angle, I'm not sure if Rout tipped it up in the air, if Branch tipped it to himself. There's a half roll right after a play action left. Underneath, they hit the tight end, and it's Gordon out across the 40-yard line. Nice throw there by Jason Campbell as he hits Richard Gordon as they drag the tight end underneath for 15 more yards, Jim. As you said during the beginning of our broadcast tonight, he is having a very solid preseason now, age 29. He'll be 30 late in the year and the 7th overall. I think the time is now for Jason to become an elite quarterback in the NFL.
You know, I agree completely, and I think he's really shown a lot of poise and confidence out there right now.
1st and 10, Raiders on their 40-yard line. Darren McFadden will not play tonight, so Michael Bush will be the lead runner. They try him off the left side, and he picks up a couple as we check the Raiders offense. Michael Bush, who had a good game against New Orleans last week, 5 carries for 32 yards, will be the lead back, but you'll see Tywan Jones later. Marcel Reese, the fullback. Jacoby Ford is back, his first action of the preseason. He will start tonight with Darius Hayward-Bay. Brandon Myers, the tight end. Jared Valdir, left tackle. Stefan Wisniewski for a second straight game at left guard. Samson Satelli at center with Cooper Carlisle at right guard and Khalif Barnes at right tackle. You'll see Stephen Heyer come in later at that tackle spot on the right side. 2nd and 8, Raiders on their 42-yard line. Marcel Reese goes in motion left to right, offset eye. Play action to Bush. Campbell darts one out left. Catch, Jacoby Ford. First down, Raiders at the Seattle 49-yard line. Nicely done. They go right to Jacoby Ford for a gain of 9. As Tom said, get him right in the football game early on. Here's Seattle's 4-3 defense. Chris Clemens, the former Raider. Alan Branch, the former Cardinal. Brandon Mebane, the former Cal Bear. And Red Bryant back after a knee injury a year ago. K.J. Wright will play at center. David Hawthorne will not play tonight due to a knee injury. Marcus Trufant, the longest tenured Seahawk. Walter Thurman, the other corner. Atari Bigby will start for Cam Chancellor. And Earl Thomas, the good-looking second-year safety, is the free safety. Michael Bush off the right side. Bangs off a Seahawk. Breaks a tackle and runs for a Raider first down. That is pure Michael Bush. Running right over a would-be tackler. It was Aaron Curry, Tom, who was the 4th overall pick a couple of years ago, and Bush just ran right through him.
You know, if you're going to tackle, he didn't get a chance to wrap his arms around him, so he just tried to knock him down with his shoulder, and you're not going to do this to Michael Bush. You better wrap him up and hold on and wait for help.
Michael Bush had a great early drive last week on that 91-yard touchdown drive against New Orleans, and he started the night well with a 14-yard gain there. 1st and 10, they fake the dive and flip it to Bush coming right. A little stiff arm there, but well played by Leroy Hill, the strong side linebacker. Raiders fake the dive to the fullback, Jim, and then try to get Bush outside. That's a play they normally run for Darren McFadden, who has the great speed to get the edge, but Michael Bush has quickness as well.
He picked up 5 yards, so that's a pretty good gain on first down. A little option play, kind of, and he's one-on-one out there. The end did not take the bait, and so, you know, he still picked up a good yardage on that run.
2nd and 5, Raiders on the Seattle 30-yard line. Jacoby Ford goes wide right, watched by Trufant. Left is Darius Hayward-Bay. And Jason is audibilizing at the line. Even a preseason game, it gets very loud up here in Seattle. He's going to check to a run off the right side, and the Seahawks are all over it. That is Raheem Brock, the former Indianapolis Colt, who got in to stuff that. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 5.
You got to be really careful when you start audibilizing here. This is a very sophisticated crowd. They take a lot of pride in the noise they can create. And as soon as they hear you audibilizing, they raise it to another level.
Remember when the Giants were here in 2005? This crowd induced 11 false starts on the Giants. They get about 2 a game over the last 6 years. And they're real tough on third down. 3rd and 4. Raiders go into a slot right. And Jacoby Forward will now motion away, but he comes back and Campbell's got to take a timeout. Play clock was down to 3. Jason will stop it with a Raider timeout. It'll be 3rd and 4 Raiders on the Seattle 29-yard line when we come back to Seattle. 5:49 to play in the opening quarter. Raiders and Seahawks 0-0 on the Raiders Broadcasting Network.
Welcome back to the Raiders Broadcasting Network. No score, JT on the sidelines. Before the game, I spoke to Hall of Famer Warren Moon, the great quarterback, about Jason Campbell. He said he loved his poise and his confidence with Al Saunders as the offensive coordinator. Hugh Jackson, he expects him to take, Greg, the next step this year. The confidence will show. He'll get better as the season goes on. Back to you, Greg.
I spoke to Warren as well, and he said he really thinks he is perfectly suited for this Raider passing attack with his ability to throw the ball deep, and he expects Jason to have a big year, JT. 3rd and 4 Raiders on the Seattle 29-yard line. Campbell out of the gun, and a pre-snap penalty is going to be called on the left tackle, Jared Valdier. So this 3rd and 4 will become a 3rd and 9. Here's Ed Hockley.
False start, offense, number 69. 5-yard penalty. It's 3rd down.
Not sure he got the right numeral there. He said 69. That would be Khalif Barnes. Was it on Barnes or was it Valdier?
I think it was 69 because the head linesman on this side of the field is the one that called it on his side.
Well, as you guys were talking about, this noise really does come in handy for the Seahawks, boy. They can really crank it up.
And it's only a preseason game. Wait till they play a regular season game. Their first regular season game here will be week 3 against Arizona. They play at the Niners and at Pittsburgh. Go open 3rd and 9 on the 34. Here's a blitz from Earl Thomas. They send the linebacker and it's batted down in the interior front there. They got a real push from the front 4, and they got a couple of blitzers behind, and Jason Campbell had that ball batted away right out of his hand by Jimmy Wilkerson.
You know, excuse me, Tom, but they were running a screen with a blitz coming at them, and they just couldn't get it off, number 1. And number 2, they had it well covered, unlike the Raiders when Seattle ran the screen earlier in the game.
Janikowski is going to try a 53-yard field goal. He's made a pair of 57-yarders off the dirt baseball infield in Oakland. He has had a perfect preseason, making all 8. Kondo will snap, Lechler will hold, Jano has it away, and this one's going to miss wide. He had plenty of distance, but it will miss wide left. The left-footed kicker has his first miss of the preseason from 53. And he did kick it towards the closed end of a Century Link field. It is open on the other end of the wind. It was at his back, but that one was out to the left. Raiders don't score. 0-0, 5-4 to go in the first quarter on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. On this final Friday evening of preseason football around the NFL 2011. NHL, never even done that league. Tavares Jackson back under center after Janikowski's 53-yard missed field goal. They'll start from their 43-yard line. Straight drop by Jackson, looks left and comes right. Seam route, Golden Tate got behind Michael Huff. And Huff and Stevie Brown will pull him down, but not before he's inside the Raider 15-yard line. Battle Golden Tate, second-round pick out of Notre Dame. Tom has not had a great preseason. They're going at him tonight, and he's caught a couple now. This one for 43 yards.
Yeah, and I don't know, was that Michael Huff, the corner?
Yes. It was Michael Huff who picked him up the whole way.
Yeah.
The Raiders have brought in Lito Shepherd. He is playing at right cornerback, the former Philadelphia Eagle, 2-time Pro Bowler. Stanford Routt is playing the other corner. 1st and 10, Seattle now inside the red zone. They run Leon Washington off the right side, and it got stacked up for nothing. Tommy Kelly with a nice stout run stuff there, along with the middle linebacker, Rolando McClain.
Yeah, but I saw a lot of Golden Tate when he was at Notre Dame playing against Stanford the last several years, and what a big playmaker he was for Jimmy Clausen and that Notre Dame football team. Game after game came up with very big plays, either turning short catches into long gainers or just running down the field like he just did.
His final collegiate game was at Stanford Stadium. Stanford won the game, Jim, but he had a brilliant game that night.
Certainly did.
2nd and 10, 14-yard line. Stanford Routt gets tight on Durham. Golden Tate in the left slot. They give it to Leon Washington off the left side. And he rambles down to the Raider 11-yard line, a gain of 4. Tommy Kelly off to a good start tonight. Again, the Raider first-team defense and offense, Tom, figures to play just a couple of series here. It is unusual, but we're seeing it more around preseason football, around the entire NFL, that the starters are even playing here in the final preseason game.
Yeah, well, as we all know, this is a unique year with the limited amount of off-season preparation. So I think all the coaches feel they need a little bit more time on the field in real live stuff to get ready.
3rd and 6. Seattle on the Raider 10-yard line. Tavares Jackson in the shotgun. Justin Forsett to his left. Jackson throws, and a nice catch there made by Golden Tate, but shy of the first down. Rolando McClain playing the pass very well this preseason, along with Michael Huff, will tackle Tate shy of the first down. So the Raiders defense holds, and Jeff Reed, the new kicker here in Seattle, will come out and try to get the Seahawks 3.
Pretty good protection that time, even though there was a little hit at the end on Jackson, but he was able to still get the ball off. Not enough to get the first down, though.
Jeff Reed, 8+ years in Pittsburgh, won a couple of Super Bowls, second leading scorer in Steeler franchise history. Finished up last year with the 49ers after Nedney got hurt, and he drives that through from 25 to give the Seahawks the 3-0 lead. 3 minutes to go in the first quarter, 3-0 Seattle on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Seattle Seahawks, a 5-play, 50-yard drive, but the Raider defense gets tough inside their red zone, and they hold them to a 25-yard field goal by Jeff Reed. 2:46 expired on that drive, and with 2:54 to go in the first quarter, Seattle takes the 3-0 lead. Greg Papa, Tom Flores, Jim Plunkett upstairs in our radio and TV simulcast. Jeff Reed will kick off for Seattle from south to north. Nick Miller back to return this first kickoff, averaging just 16 yards a kickoff return. Jacoby Ford returns tonight as a wide receiver, but he will not return kicks tonight, but he will in 10 days on opening night, Monday Night Football in Denver. Miller, 2 yards deep, is coming out, angling left. 10, 15, gets wide, tripped up, and now dropped on the 17-yard line. A 19-yard return by Miller. Atari Bigby, the former Packer, on the tackle. Back to work for Jason Campbell. 2:48 to go in the quarter. 3-0 Seattle on the Raiders Broadcasting Network.
Back on the Raiders Broadcasting Network, JT on the sideline. The time is now to make sure you don't miss a moment of the 2011 Raiders' exciting home schedule. We have ticket programs for everyone's taste. Group tickets, season tickets, half-season packages. Raiders staff are in the office during this live broadcast. If you call now at 1-800-RAIDERS and spend $500 or more in packages, you receive a $100 gift card at the Raider Image. Raider staff in the offices, 1-800-RAIDERS with the Jets and the Patriots. Greg, what a schedule.
Can't wait to get it started, JT. First two on the road in Denver and Buffalo, then home for the Jets on the 25th of September. Campbell to play action, going to throw a deep ball for Hayward Bay, who was tripped up. Flags all over the field. It'll be a PI on Seattle. Put the ball on the 50-yard line. Darius Hayward Bay just got tripped up there by Walter Thurman, and a blatant pass interference call.
Well, I'll tell you what happened. You saw it too. Jim and I both saw it. I think Bay ran a hook and go.
Interference, defense, number 28. The ball is placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
He took a stop and go, and he just beat the receiver, just beat him badly. And when he took off, the receiver, I think, just reached out and tackled him.
Wow. That was a blatant one. He just reached out and grabbed him as he was running by. First and 10 Raiders on the 46-yard line. Michael Bush up the middle. That was a 28-yard penalty that Darius Hayward Bay was able to induce, Jim. But had Thurman not literally got on and just grabbed him, Hayward Bay would have been running underneath that ball. It looked like it would have been timed perfectly with the ball that Jason threw.
Oh, he would have gotten to the barn easily. He beat him soundly, and all Thurman could do was reach out and trip him up.
Well, the Raiders have their young speedsters together again. Darius Hayward Bay goes out wide left, and Jacoby Ford goes out right, still waiting on Chaz Schillens and Lewis Murphy to return to join Denarius Moore. Raider young wide receiving core is going to be explosive this year. Second down and 9. Campbell a straight drop. They blitz Bigby. They throw that way to Brandon Myers. Tries to put a move on the middle linebacker right, and Brandon Myers able to get close to a Raider first down, but he's pushed out just short. Be 3rd down and 2 coming up for the Raiders.
just a little hot rate. They brought receivers, too many receivers on this side to block with the safety coming, and almost came up with a first down. Just wasn't quite able to power his way through.
Brandon Myers getting set for his third year out of Iowa. He and Richard Gordon now will play together in a double tight set. 3rd and 2. They give it a Bush up the middle. And he got hit and drilled backwards by Aaron Curry. See what Hugh Jackson does here. He is going to bring in Leckler and punt the football away on 4th down. Well, the first time the Raiders had the ball, they drove effectively 41 yards, picked up 3 first downs, got to the Seahawks 29, and then moved backwards and punted. And this may be the last time we see the first team offense here, Tom. And Leckler will come in and punt with a minute to go in the first period. 4th and 1. Golden Tate is back to return. Leckler handled all the punts last week, all 4 against New Orleans from his 45-yard line. He will Aussie Rules football it. Try to get it to be down here by a gunner. And they're still battling it, and then was tipped back out, but they touched the goal line. It will be a touchback. Nice try there by Joey Porter and Stevie Brown. They were down there trying to tip it back. And at last the ball was in the end zone over the goal line. And Jeremy Lehman of the Raiders just signed, Tom, made the last effort to get in there and try to tip the ball back.
Well, there's a flag down there, and
well, right there, he's in the end zone.
Yeah, he was already in the end zone.
Was in the end zone.
But the first 2 were, but there's also a yellow flag down over on about the 2-yard line on the Raiders sideline.
Again, an official took his hat off, so maybe the first Raider that touched it went out of bounds as well. Here's Ed Ockley.
Number 28 of the kicking team had been out of bounds, came back in, and was the first to touch the punt. That's illegal touching. That results in the ball being placed at the 20-yard line. Seattle's ball, first down.
Well, it would have been a touchback anyway because the Raiders were not able to down the ball before it got into the end zone for a touchback. So Chuck Bresnahan is going to sub out his first team defense now. They'll bring in a lot of the backup people here as the Seahawks will start their 3rd possession. Desmond Bryant, who rotates in quite a bit, will be as a defensive lineman here. And the Seahawks are going to pull their starting offense as well. Tavares Jackson, who will be their starter right after they signed him away from the Vikings via free agency. He was anointed the starting position. So Charlie Whitehurst will become the backup. And Whitehurst, Jim, has played very well this preseason.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about Charlie Whitehurst actually outplaying Tavares Jackson for the Seahawks, but they made the decision they're going to stick with it right now.
Good strong arm at that time, way wide as he out threw Golden Tate on the outcut. That is Charlie Whitehurst right there, Tom. He has a great deep throwing arm, but he's not always as accurate as he needs to be.
Well, he has good size too, 6'5", 225 pounds. I remember when they first got him, when Hasselbeck was hurt, and he came in and played pretty good in that short period of time.
He came in and won them a playoff spot. He beat St. Louis the final week of the year in the Sunday night game to get them in the playoffs last year at 7-9. There's Forsett off the right side, shedding a couple of would-be tacklers. Jerome Boyd and Desmond Bryant finally combined to pull him down, but Forsett, the former Cal star, picks up 8. Marshawn Lynch not playing tonight with an ankle injury, and that will more than likely be the final play of the opening quarter. Jerome Boyd, who has been very impressive as a box safety. Good tackler was in on that tackle, but after he picked up 8 yards. See if Seattle tries to squeeze off one play here before the quarter's up. 2-1, and they will not get it off in time. And that'll be the end of the first quarter. A 25-yard field goal by Jeff Reed. Our only points while the starters were out there. And the Seahawks lead the Raiders after 15 minutes of play, 3-0. This is the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Battle after 15 minutes of play. Time now for the Geico 15-minute review report on the first 15 minutes of the game. Seahawks 5 first downs, the Raiders 4. Seattle with 88 yards passing to the Raiders 31. Rushing was pretty even. Seattle in total outgained the Raiders 108-55. 3rd down and 2, Seattle. We've changed ends. They're moving from north to south, from our left to right on the radio and TV simulcast. Counter handoff to Forsett off the left side. And he picks up the first down barely. Had to get across the 30. And he just did do that as we check in with George Atkinson downstairs. George.
Hey, Greg. I talked to Coach Bresnahan, defense coordinator, before the game, and I asked him, did he have any concerns about his defense? He told me he's not really concerned because whatever problems that they were having during the preseason, he has 10 days to work it out, and he thinks that the defense will be solid. Back to you, Greg.
And also, when the first-team defense has been on the field, guys, the opponents are not scoring a lot of points, touchdowns. Charlie Whitehurst may have gotten grabbed around the face mask there by Jarvis Moss, but no flag. That is Jarvis Moss's third sack of the preseason, Tom. The former Denver Bronco there, with just a left-hand reach there, was able to grab Whitehurst and throw him down.
Yeah, he had a blocker in his face, and he was able to reach over and grab him around the shoulder pads and strong enough to bring him down. And then Charlie Whitehurst is a big guy to bring down.
He is 6'5", 225 pounds. Jarvis Moss will be amped up for opening night. The former Denver Bronco round 1 pick out of Florida. 2nd and 13, counter handoff to Forsett coming left, and that time the Raiders played it very well, Jim. Lamar Houston, Raiders have subbed out some of their first-team defense, but they keep the young left defensive end in the game, and Lamar made that tackle. Well, he had a tremendous rookie season last year, Tom, in all regards. Yep. They'll slide him inside occasionally in the nickel. Plays the run well, just a high-energy guy. 3rd down and 12, Seattle. On their 30-yard line. Let's see if the Raiders can get off the field here on 3rd down. Quentin Groves comes up, shows blitz, but he'll drop. The Raiders rush 4. Whitehurst will step up, not a real runner. He'll dart one over the middle. It is caught by Williams for a 1st down. That is Patrick Williams, who they actually released this week and then brought back because of all the injuries in their wide receiving core. Whitehurst, Tom, just able to move up in the pocket a little bit, bought time to dart that one over the middle for 20 yards.
Yeah, with no pressure at all, he was able to take off to the right, and by running out of the pocket, he pulled up the underneath coverage and allowed a huge area there for the reception.
Raiders defense, first team and now second team, allowing too many 3rd down conversions tonight. 1st and 10, 50-yard line. Anthony McCoy goes in motion left. Forsett, the cutback run. They have the zone blocking scheme. One cut and then come downhill. And Forsett able to pick up 5 yards there. Jamie Cumbie, rookie free agent from Clemson, along with Darrell Blackstock, veteran weak side linebacker on the tackle for Chuck Bresnahan. Blackstock, an interesting guy, Tom. 3 years in Arizona, a year in Cincinnati where he played under Chuck. Chuck was the defensive coordinator with the Bengals after leaving the Raiders. Played with him under him last year in the United Football League. That time Forsett got hit in the backfield and lost yardage. Desmond Bryant came shooting through that gap and stuffed him for a 2-yard loss.
Yeah, just submarine. Looked like he submarined low and kept his shoulder pads going forward, and it was in the backfield just about the same time that the handoff occurred.
What a find he was, Jim, a couple of years ago. A rookie free agent signing out of Harvard. Has had a couple of real solid years. Very much a part of the Raider D-line rotation. After Kelly and Seymour, you got Henderson and also Desmond Bryant. 3rd down and 7. See if the Raiders can get a stop here on defense. They rush 4 again. Whitehurst got hit as he threw. Ball deflected up in the air. Caught out of the air by Leon Washington. It's Franco Harris all over again. And a run for a 1st down to the 15-yard line. Wow. That ball was tipped up in the air and looked like it almost hit the field turf here. But Leon Washington, Jim, plucked it out of the air and then took it down the sideline for 32 yards.
You know, right place, right time, well defensed, a good play, knocking it back, but unfortunately it wound up in the hands of Leon Washington, who was able to catch it, turn up the field, and get a big gain down to the 15-yard line. And sometimes that's just the way the ball bounces.
You're not having nightmares from 72, Tom, are you, in the Italian Army? Where's Frenchie Fuqua? 1st and 10. Seattle moving on the line both ways. We'll see which way they got. It's going to be a false start on Seattle.
False start offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty, first down.
It's on John Moffitt. Even though they have subbed out most of their skill players, the first teamers, Tom, they are leaving the young linemen here just to get these guys some extra reps. They're going to start an all-rookie right side of the offensive line 9 days from now at Candlestick Park.
Yeah, that's kind of dangerous to do, but you know, this kind of time, play time for them is very vital.
Now they empty the backfield. Forsett goes out wide right, watched by Quentin Groves. 5 on the line. Whitehurst running around wildly. Blackstock chases. He fits one in tightly to Golden Tate, and Tate is dropped on the Raider 11-yard line.
You know, once again, Charlie Whitehurst comes up with a big play. He's gotten pressure. He runs to his left, finds a receiver open in Golden Tate, and they move the ball down the field a little bit more. But you're talking about tip passes earlier. Coach Flores also can remember in that championship game against San Diego where it goes off Kenny King's hand into Raymond Chester's hands, and he goes 65 yards for the score. So sometimes it goes in your favor.
Both ways.
But you don't remember we practiced that all week.
Oh, yeah.
That's why you're such a good coach, Tom. 2nd and 5. McCoy goes in motion left to right for set. The long back. And they're going to roll Whitehurst left. Hit by tight end McCoy right in the hands, and he simply dropped it. Anthony McCoy's had a good camp, but he dropped it. Seahawks got some rough news this week. John Carlson, their great pass-catching tight end, is going to miss the year after a torn labrum in his shoulder. He'll have surgery. A flag down on the play as well.
Yeah, their offensive lineman, one of their offensive linemen, after the play was over, I think it was Giacomini.
Breno.
Yeah.
Giacomini, they back up right
no
tackle.
Foul on the play. Incomplete pass, 3rd down.
They thought about it, but then the officials got together and decided not to single out Giacomini. Let's see what he did here, Tom.
Well, there was a blocking, and they were a little pushing, and he pushed. He was the last guy to push. Usually that's the guy they catch, but the flag was thrown. I don't know why they picked it up.
Looked like Giacomini threw Tommy Hill down.
Yeah.
With no flag, and that would have been a personal foul. That would have made this 3rd and 5, 3rd and 20. Why'd they pick that up? 3rd and 5. They go 2-by-2 formation. Baldwin in the right slot. Golden Tate left slot. They go to Durham, the big wide receiver. 1st and goal, Seattle on the 1-yard line after a curious pickup by this officiating crew. Could have been a personal foul. And they run that backside slant, Jim, to big Durham. He's a big wide receiver at 6'6".
And he grabbed that right out of the air. It was thrown high, which you don't want to do down there, but he's big enough, as you said, at 6'6", to haul it down, and he did. He hung on to it, even though he was hit just as he caught the ball.
Well, 6'6" also, Jim, against Lito Shepard, who's, I'm not sure how tall he is, but it looked like there was about at least a foot difference.
Not quite a foot, but Lito's 5'11". At about 7 inches. Pete Carroll's running on the field literally to get the timeout here. It's 1st and goal, Seattle on the Raider 1-yard line. Pete's going to be 60 in a couple of weeks, but he's got the energy. 9:11 to go and a half. 3-0 Seattle on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Oakland Raiders getting set to begin their 52nd year of professional football in exactly 10 days' time. They'll be in Denver on Monday Night Football to open the year. Week 2 will be in Buffalo. Make your plans to be with us for Week 3 and 4. The Jets will be in September the 25th. New England, October the 2nd. 1-800-RAIDERS to get your tickets right now. Here's a touchdown off the right side. Thomas Clayton will dive in. And on the 1st and goal, Clayton takes the plunge, and the Seahawks have a 9 going on 10-0 lead.
Well, this was a little bit unexpected, really. The Seahawks offense, who's been struggling lately, especially the offensive lines, whichever line they put in there, as you mentioned, an all-rookie right side, and being able to move the ball down the field.
Well, even though they're all rookies, and they have subbed out James Carpenter, they have left their offensive line a little longer, trying to get him some positive vibes. They have really struggled this preseason. Clayton goes in from a yard out, and again, that's the first-team O-line against the Raiders' second-team D-line. 10-0 Seattle, 9:07 to go in the half on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Charlie Whitehurst able to engineer a 13-play, 80-yard drive. Seattle had the ball for 6.5 minutes. Thomas Clayton from a yard out. And the Seahawks take a 10-0 lead. Hugh Jackson and John Fossil, the Raiders special teams coach, will send back Denarius Moore to return this kickoff of Jeff Reed. Wind will be in Reed's back. From north to south, he will kick. He will enjoy kicking in this stadium much more than at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, which is so tough on kickers. Reed not a real strong leg. Moore's coming out. He'll creep up, take it on the 3. 10, 15, angles right, 20. And he's out to around the 24-yard line. 21-yard return by Denarius Moore. So first 2 on the road at Denver and Buffalo. Then it's the home opener against the New York Jets. New England is in. The Raiders have a tremendous home schedule this year. They're going to play, in addition to the usuals in the AFC West, Chiefs, Broncos, and Chargers, the AFC East. So Jets and Patriots, and NFC North And you've got the Bears and a lot of people's trendy pick to win this year, the Detroit Lions. Again, 1-800-RAIDERS. Raiders have a staff member at their Alameda offices right now to take your phone call. They have a ticket package for everyone. Play action, a throw out left, and a catch by Darius Hayward-Bay. And he has thrown it out of bounds there after a nice pickup. Jason Campbell was supposed to play just the first 2 series. Tom stays in it and starts the third with a play action to Taiwan Jones and a bullet out to DHB for 18 yards.
Yeah, actually excellent throw. Nice route by Hayward-Bay and well thrown. And maybe coach just wants them to get some more reps, get a little bit more rhythm going.
Campbell has played well this entire preseason. Like to get a touchdown here before they pull him. Marcel Reese on the dive off the right side. They'll dial 1-800-RAIDERS. 1-800-RAIDERS right now, and a staff member in the Alameda offices will take you through the possible ticket program you're looking for. They have one for everybody's taste: group tickets, season tickets, half-season packages. And if you, as JT mentioned earlier, if you call 1-800-RAIDERS right now and spend $500 or more in a ticket package, you'll receive a $100 gift card to the Raider image. And I think they've been there themselves. They got the helmet there. 2nd and 6. Here's Campbell after Moore. Little ghost motion on the end around. Jason could have run for more, but he trips up on this field turf here as he was trying to put a move on the middle linebacker, Jim. KJ Wright. Let's just hope he didn't turn an ankle or something on that.
You sure that wasn't 16 out there running? Wait a minute. No, but you're right. Sometimes when you're not used to playing on this turf, you do tend to catch your toes sometimes when you're trying to make a cut. Obviously, that's what happened to Jason Campbell. He's a pretty good runner. You know, being as tall, as lanky as he is, he can get up the field pretty good.
George Blanda would have run for about 55 yards and a touchdown, Jim, wouldn't he? Oh,
I'm talking about this 16.
You 16. We have a timeout here called. 3rd and 4. Raiders will face on their 48-yard line when we come back halfway through the second quarter in Seattle. Raiders down 10-0 on the Raiders Broadcasting Network.
A lot of me wants to do it for him, just simple fact because, he put so much trust in me and give me an opportunity to come here and then, the way he wants to win. You respect that because all he wants to do is win, and that's his motto, just win. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
3rd and final day of the draft of 2010, April 24th. Al Davis made the trade, giving up a 4th-round pick this year to get Jason Campbell. And Jason did a lot of winning last year. Raiders went 8-8, 6-0 in the AFC West. Campbell on 3rd down throws and a catch for the first down of his tight end, Brandon Myers, out to the Seattle 44-yard line. Jason, like you did throughout your career, Jim, likes to get the ball to the tight end. So what do you see big picture from Jason Campbell now in his 2nd year as the Raider quarterback, Jim?
Well, I think a lot more upside than last year. He had some, he was benched briefly. And I certainly know what that's like, but I think more consistency down the road than you got from him last year. He's more confident, more comfortable in the offense that they're running right now, and he's performing extremely well.
Play action to Taiwan Jones. Lobs one down the left sideline for Demarius Moore, and he threw it out of bounds. And Moore had a step on the coverage there. Ball was just slightly thrown to the boundary too much there, Tom. Otherwise, I think he would have hit Moore in stride.
Yeah, Moore had at least a stride and a half on the defender. The safety was coming over to try to help, but the ball was just thrown a little too much to the outside, and had he caught it, it would have been out of bounds anyway.
Raiders draft class this year, just superb. Demarius Moore, we've talked about, a training camp sensation, but Taiwan Jones is in the game. He made his Raider debut last Sunday against the New Orleans Saints, and he was a revelation. 13 carries, 81 yards, had a 22-yard touchdown run. Picks up a blitz here, throw out left, incomplete. Broken up, a flag comes in. Again, they interfered with Darius Hayward-Bay. Byron Maxwell, the rookie free agent, a rookie round 6 corner out of Clemson, arrived just a beat early. 2nd pass interference call, Tom, that DHB is induced here in the first half.
Yeah, pass interference, defense, number 41. The ball is placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
Well, that'll help the cause, keep the drive alive, keep the chains moving, and he was just there. It was tight coverage, and he was just there he was all over Darius Bay. I don't even know why he was arguing that he didn't do anything wrong.
That would be Byron Maxwell, way physical with DHB. 1st and 10 Raiders on the Seattle 38. Draw to Taiwan Jones straight ahead. Able to spin on a 1 tackle and come forward for a couple. He obviously has great speed, but Taiwan Jones wants to be known as more than just a speedy guy. Stefan Wisniewski is going to be the Raiders' starting left guard, it looks like. He was their first pick. Remember, they traded their first-round pick to get Richard Seymour. DeMarcus Van Dyke, Joe Barksdale, Chimdi Chekwa, cornerback. They looked at safety, now back at corner. Taiwan Jones and Denarius Moore could be a couple of finds, and those two tight ends later, Gordon and Osbury, have looked good as well. What a draft class. Raiders had a good one last year. This one could be a strong. Another blitz. Brandon Myers off the left side, nothing there. Tackled by the middle linebacker, K.J. Wright, rookie out of Mississippi State, a fourth-round draft pick of the Seahawks. That'll bring up for the Raiders here a third down and about 8 yards to go.
And you know, Pop, last week I was sitting with Mr. Davis in his suite, and we were talking about players, and he mentioned Taiwan Jones. He hadn't even taken the field, and he likened him to Darren McFadden. The kind of, even though he hadn't even been in a game yet, he thought this kid had a lot of upside to him, and they're looking forward to his contribution to this Raider football team.
Here he is lining up to the left of Campbell in the gun. Three receivers go right, including the tight end Myers. DHP is left one-on-one with Maxwell. 3rd and 8. Campbell looks right, seam route. Derek Hagan, first down Raiders to the Seattle 22-yard line. Taiwan Jones, Tom, was a star against New Orleans on national TV last Sunday, as was Derek Hagan. A huge game.
Yeah, Hagan just does a little fake to the outside and runs a real kind of a deep slant. The ball is thrown once again perfectly. Nobody inside to help out on the pass. And completion for a nice gain and a first down.
Derek Hagan against New Orleans, 6 catches, 121 yards. He had that 35-yard touchdown run where he stiff-armed the cornerback, Tracy Porter of New Orleans. Nothing here on the handoff off the left side as they gave it to the fullback, Marcel Reese. So the Raiders are keeping their first-team offense, Tom, in now deep into the second quarter. We have 4.5 minutes to play in the first half.
Well, as long as Campbell's going to be in there, you know the offensive line, the first offensive line is going to be in there. They're not going to take any chances with him in the ballgame, and they want him to get more reps.
First-team line is in. Beldier left tackle, Wisniewski left guard, Satelli at center, Carlisle right guard, and Khalif Barnes right tackle. 2nd and 8. Play action to Jones. Check down to Jones over the middle. Taiwan gets wrapped up and dropped immediately by Malcolm Smith, a rookie round 7 linebacker out of the University of Southern California. Taiwan Jones, Tom, in college played at Eastern Washington, a different style offense. It was a college spread, so he was to the quarterback's side a lot in a shotgun. So he's having to learn how to play as an I-back.
We have some I-back and blocking back and receiver out of the back. There's a lot of things new to him, but he seems to be adjusted pretty well.
This is the formation he used a lot in college. They put Campbell in the gun, and Taiwan is to his right. 3rd and 4 Raiders on the Seattle 16-yard line. Here's a throw to Jones, and he got hit right as the ball hit his hands. The safety, Deron Johnson, came up and hit Taiwan Jones just as he was reaching with his right hand to get the football. So they'll bring in Leckler and try for a second field goal.
Yeah, with the pressure on Jason Campbell that time, he had to get rid of it quick. Didn't throw it exactly accurate. And even if Taiwan Jones had caught it, he wouldn't have picked up the first down.
This will be a 34-yard attempt. Janikowski's earlier one from 53 missed wide left, his first miss of the preseason. Right hash mark, left-footed kicker. Kondo will snap, Leckler will hold. They got it down, and Janikowski's got this one right down the middle. And the Raider first-team offense will get 3 here with 3:20 to go in the half. Jano from 34 yards out, and the Seattle lead down to 10-3 on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. There's Jim Plunkett upstairs. Raider Nation is everywhere, and certainly up here in the Pacific Northwest. That's for Willie Brown or Michael Huff, you think? Spanning the generations and the decades. Of course, the Raiders, Tom, used to play Seattle twice a year when they were in the AFC West from 1977 through 2001. Golden Tate will take the kickoff from Glenn Pakalak. Gets wide right. 30, 40, pulled down from behind. And I think they're going to get a horse collar tackle on Walter McFadden as well. In fact, 2 flags are thrown here.
Well, the Raiders were offsides on their kicking team. That's what the first flag was for. And the second one, I guess, was another horse collar.
I think it was a face mask, actually.
Was it? Yeah. Because he wasn't behind him. He was in front of him, yeah.
Well, either way, it'd be what they would do is The personal foul would be assessed out of the horse collar or the face mask. Seattle would not have them re-kick it, but they've got 5 as well.
They're going to have great field position.
There were 2 fouls by the kicking team on the play. Illegal formation number 28 was behind the 30-yard line. That penalty is declined. There was also personal foul face mask by the kicking team number 22 on the tackle. That's tacked on from the end of the run. First down.
You're right, Jim. Walter McFadden did not get him from behind the horse collar, but in front. And it is a face mask here. Golden Tate had to run way up and to his left as Pakalak, not as strong-legged as Janikowski. And that got the Raiders, I think, Tom, all out of their lanes.
Yeah, and the face mask actually was early. I mean, it was early. It wasn't even part of the tackle. It was early part of the hit.
And it almost turned out to be, caught by Thomas Clayton down there.
Yeah.
And Golden Tate took it away from him and turned it into a huge game.
And as far as the lining up illegally, in addition to moving the kickoff to the 35-yard line, the kicking team, you have to have your foot on the 30-yard line. You cannot be more than 5 yards behind the line. Whitehurst going to fake the stretch left, roll right, pressured throws, and that's behind Durham. And incomplete. Another flag came down.
No, I don't see one. Oh, I guess so. They're talking.
The officials are huddled together. Was there a flag on the field? Here's Ed Hockley.
There was no foul for illegal contact because the quarterback was out of the pocket at the time that it occurred. By rule, that's no foul. Second down.
At that time, there was very good pressure put on by the Raiders. Charlie Whitehurst had no time to really to scout the field and find a receiver that was open.
Darrell Blackstock now playing as the Raider middle linebacker. Travis Gaethel with a knee injury is going to be out for the year. Sam Williams also with an injury, not playing tonight. So Blackstock moves in the middle. There's Forsett off the right side. And he's down to around the 36-yard line of the Raiders as we have under 3 minutes to play in the first half. Jerome Boyd, a rookie free agent signee, linebacker, Tom, a couple of years ago played well, was on the Raider practice squad, and he has a chance. One of the things they're evaluating tonight, Al Davis and the coaching staff will get together tomorrow. They got to cut 26 guys off this roster by 3 o'clock tomorrow, and Boyd is certainly impressed.
Yeah, he has, and he plays that hybrid position there, safety linebacker location, and they like what he does in that position. And it's very well suited for it.
They're down in 8, Seattle on the Raider 36. Whitehurst on the gun, throws, catch. Doug Baldwin, former Stanford Cardinal, and he got hit by Lito Shepard. Shepard popped him big time.
He really got a good spot on that, too. They really got a good spot. He was moving back towards the ball, and they gave him an excellent spot.
They're good enough for a first down?
Yeah, it's going to be close.
It's a little short, I believe. 4th down.
Well, you're right. He was not that far. And that'll take us to the 2-minute warning. We have reached the Pennzoil 2-minute warning. Pennzoil, not just oil, Pennzoil. 10-3 Seattle on the Raiders Broadcasting Network.
Broadcasting Network, Raiders trail 10-3. Stick around for a halftime. You know the success of the 2010 draft class. We'll take a look at what's expected of the young players for the 2011 draft class. Back to you, Greg.
All right, JT, and Stefan Wisniewski looks like he's going to be a starter. The Raiders' second-round draft pick looks like he will start at left guard in 10 days in Denver. 4th down and 1 here, Tom, as the Seattle Seahawks and head coach Pete Carroll are going for it on the Raider 29-yard line.
Yeah, they want to keep this thing alive and not give the Raiders another chance and get some more points out of it.
There's the dive pitch to Leon Washington, well played by Quentin Groves, and Trevor Scott will get in and stuff it and take the ball back for the Raider defense. They did not bite on the dive pitch. They faked the dive to the fullback, Michael Robinson, pitched it out, Jim, wide to Leon Washington. Groves forced it back inside, and Trevor Scott was there.
Yeah, well defense that time. You're right. They didn't bite on the fake. They were out in great position. You were able to stop that with Groves, and Trevor Scott got out there chasing them. Well played defensively that time by the Raiders.
Let's check in with George Atkinson downstairs. George.
Yeah, guys, you know, the art of tackling is a fine art. And it's about vision and angles and driving through your tackles. Normally when you see a missed tackle, it's because the defender's either sitting on it or he's taking a bad angle. So tackling is about angles, vision, and driving through your target. Greg.
And nobody did it better than George. You drove right through your target. Trent Edwards going to take over at quarterback now for the Raiders, Jim, after Jason Campbell played well. Raiders going into a hurry up here with 1.5 minutes to play in the half. Edwards flag down. A pre-snap penalty here will be called on the Raiders.
Left tackle. Here.
Stephen
Ball
Hire.
start,
Hire,
offense,
excuse me, I'm sorry.
Number 75. 5-yard penalty. It's second down.
Stops the clock with 1:34 to play in the half. The Raiders do have 2 timeouts to use, Coach.
2 timeouts to use. That didn't help the matter right there. But they're going to a hurry-up offense. You get Edwards hasn't really had much chance to warm up.
2nd and 12. Slot left. Nick Miller inside of Hagan. Denarius Morris right. Throw over the middle. Rock Cartwright. The back's got it. And he is tackled at around the 40-yard line. That'll bring up a 3rd down at about 2. Raiders got to hustle up here on this 3rd down and 2. Right back up on the line.
Well, they got to call a timeout. The Seahawks have to use one of their timeouts. One of their guys is back on about the 17-yard line in pain.
Jimmy Wilkerson, a 9th-year defensive lineman, former Kansas City Chief and Tampa Bay Buccaneer and a New Orleans Saint a year ago, is down and just now getting up. So they have to burn a timeout because of the injury here with 1:18 to go in the half.
Yeah, and Coach was right about Trent Edwards having to come in a tough situation, a 2-minute right off the bench to come and try and run and hurry up everybody on the line of scrimmage and try to get as many plays off as you can and move the ball down the football field.
And you'll remember when the Raiders were at Candlestick a few weeks ago, Jim, and Jason Campbell was knocked out of the game there late in the half. It was Trent Edwards that came in to quarterback the team the remainder of the half, and then Kyle Bowler came in to start the second half. It is Edwards who comes in first again this time, and the plan is for Bowler to play after him. 3rd down and 1, Raiders, and it's a quarterback sneak, and Edwards picks up plenty. That middle of the offensive line really pushed him out there for about 3 yards. 1st and 10, Raiders, and a timeout called by Hugh Jackson with 1:14 to play.
You don't realize how big Trent Edwards and Kyle Bowler, they're big men. They're big, strong guys who can, pick up those yards on that quarterback sneak sometimes very easily.
We never ran too many quarterback sneaks when I was coach.
Why is that?
Thank goodness.
Why is that? Edwards.
Our quarterback wasn't really adept at the quarterback sneak.
But he can throw.
I disagree.
He can throw. One thing about this trio of quarterbacks, they're not only big, they've made a lot of starts in the NFL. Jason Campbell's had 64 starts. Trent Edwards, 33 starts. Kyle Bowler, 46 starts. They have a veteran trio that nobody else in the NFL can make that claim. 1st and 10, Raiders on their 43. Edwards out of the gun, drops and throws middle. That's a bump. Should be a flag, but no flag on Richard Sherman, the rookie corner out of Stanford, who bumped Derek Hagan off his route. And Trent Edwards may have taken a shot to the head here. Walter Thurman came in a linebacker, a safety blitz, and the linebacker came as well. And that's a hit up around the helmet.
That's pretty close, yeah. Pretty close.
Dexter Davis, the left defensive end, got in. 2nd and 10, Raiders on the 43. Edwards out of the gun. Time, plenty of time. Check down, Rock Cartwright, the back makes one miss, then he has tripped up by that first defender. It is Walter Thurman who tripped him up. Raiders now with 1 minute to play in the half. Face a 3rd down. 3rd down at about 4 on their 49. Slot left, Miller inside of Moore. Hagan is right. Edwards looks left the whole way, finds Miller. Did not go far enough to pick up the 1st down, though.
Yeah.
He is short.
There's no excuse for that. I mean, you need more yards. Why run a 2-yard route? Yeah. That doesn't even make sense.
And I agree 100% with Coach. Get enough for the 1st down, pick it up, and keep the chains moving.
Hugh Jackson exasperated there. Edwards explaining why he went to Nick Miller and why that route was cut off. Glenn Pakalak into punt for the Raiders on a 4th and 3 from midfield. It is Golden Tate back to return for Pete Carroll, and Brian Schneider, Seattle special teams coordinator, formerly with the Raiders. So Tate makes a nice move. He may go 20, 30. Pakalak to beat down the sideline, cuts inside finally. He is spun out of bounds by David Osbury, the tight end that saved a touchdown. So Golden Tate, the newspapers here, Tom, were speculating the Seahawks may cut him I don't think that's going to happen, and he has responded here tonight with a big game.
Yeah, he's a very talented guy. I don't think they can give up on him so quickly. I mean, he was a high draft choice. They had high expectations, and he can do a multitude of things. That punt wasn't up in the air long enough, and he took it in stride.
You're right, no hang time, and only a 39-yarder by Pakalak, and Golden Tate took it back 43 yards. The Raiders were hoping to score before halftime, but could not convert on third down, and now Seattle has a chance. They do not have any timeouts left, but they're on the Raider 46. Whitehurst has a big arm, and he throws, and the catch there to the tight end, Anthony McCoy, right at the sticks. Clock will continue to roll. Seahawks cannot stop it with a timeout. They may want to clock it here, spike it. They got to hurry, though. 15, 14, 13. They're on the Raider 35. They're burning a lot of time, and now Whitehurst will spike the ball with 11 seconds to play in the half.
Yeah, 11 seconds with no timeouts left. They almost have to just take it down, downtown. We are downtown. That's right.
We are. This is called the Sodo part of Seattle, just south of downtown. And the Raiders opened the season on the road, 2 winnable games against 4-12 teams a year ago, Denver, and then at suburban Buffalo Orchard Park before the home schedule starts against the Jets and Patriots. 1-800-RAIDERS, or Raiders.com to be a part of a great home schedule. Whitehurst steps up in the pocket, throws a little too high for Durham, who got hit as he was falling down there by Jerome Boyd. Out of bounds, incomplete, no flag down, and 5 seconds to go in the half. Nice coverage there by Boyd. He landed awkwardly as well. And the rest of the schedule for the Raiders this year: at San Diego, at Minnesota, then they come home for Chicago before going to Miami. So the second half of the year, Tom, is going to be very difficult with 4 out of 5 on the road, and that's some tough locales.
Yeah, certainly
San Diego
going to Green Bay and Denver in December is not a lot of fun.
Third down and 10, long field goal to Tennant. They're going to block it here. Jeff Reed's field goal. They don't take one more shot with 5 seconds to go. They try the field goal from 53, and it's blocked right in the middle of the Raider front. I believe Joey Porter actually came around from the outside. There was some push up the middle, but Porter came around from the outside.
He got a great jump on it. I'm surprised they didn't call him for being offside. He got a great jump.
Well, the Raiders end the first half on a positive note. John Faisal, the Raiders special teams coordinator, is happy. Porter with a block on the field goal. Raiders down 10-3 at halftime here in Seattle. They were all over Charlie Whitehurst, but the Raiders give up 1 touchdown and down 10-3 at halftime on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Not just top-tier detergent. We're on the driver's side. Seattle outgained the Raiders in the first half, 203 yards to 133. Jim, the big difference, they were able to sustain drives. They converted on third down 6 of 8 times. The Raiders just 3 of 7 on third down.
Yeah, that third down conversion really hurts you. If you're playing defense, obviously it keeps drives alive and allows the other teams to score on you. But, they shut down the rush, which they wanted to do. They want to become a better rush defensive team, and that's what they're working on right now.
Here's the kickoff to begin the second half. Sean Boterford from Federal Way, Washington, will come out. 10, 15, 20. And he's out to around the 25-yard line. A 28-yard kickoff return by Boterford, who has been averaging on kickoff returns this year almost 26 yards a return. Now the Raiders and quarterback Kyle Bowler now will come in, Jim, after Trent Edwards backed up. Jason Campbell. Jason was 8 of 11 in the first half, 75 yards. Edwards played about half of that second quarter, went 3 of 4, I should say, for 18 yards. And now it's on to the former Cal Bear, Kyle Bowler. And Ase Tunga on the toss sweep to Michael Bennett. Slight cutback, and Bennett picks up about 3.
And Pop, I think Trent Edwards was a little disappointed. He thought it was Campbell was going to only take a series or 2, and Trent would get the rest of the half. But unfortunately, they went a little bit longer, and Trent probably, I'm sure, feels he didn't get as much playing time as he would have liked. And
Kyle Bowler, who was a Raider a year ago, coach, has had a very good training camp and a very good preseason.
He has. He certainly has. These guys are veterans. They've been in the trenches before.
Play action. Bowler checked down. Michael Bennett over the middle. Breaks a tackle. Runs for a first down. McCoy, the former Eagle, good special teams player, finally pulls him down. But Michael Bennett able to pick up 17 yards and a Raider first down.
Michael Bennett doesn't seem to quit. He's been in the league 10, 11 years now, and he still seems like he's got that extra burst of speed that you need as a running back.
I think it's going to be anxious hours for people like Michael Bennett coming up tomorrow. Again, the Raiders have to trim 26 off the roster. They do get the roster exemption for Terrell Pryor. He does not have to go on the 53-man roster, so they have to go from 80 tonight to 53, minus Pryor. Bowler going to backpedal, hit Lewis Rankin from the University of Washington, and a former Seahawk, and he has spun around and dropped on the 47-yard line. So the Raiders, like the entire NFL, by 3 o'clock our time tomorrow, Tom, have to get down to 53, so 26 off the roster by tomorrow afternoon. The next day, you can put together your 8-man practice squad for the year.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of sleepy guys around that building because they don't get back until wee hours of the morning.
About 3:30 in the morning. Denarius Moore on the end around. Vaboro, the linebacker, able to drop him. David Vaboro on the tackle for Seattle on Denarius Moore. Now the Raiders are going to be loaded at wide receiver. Jim Moore certainly has been very impressive. And the Raiders are going to get Chaz Schillen's back for opening night in Denver. Lewis Murphy will come back very early in the year, hopefully by the home opener against the Jets at the latest. 3rd and 4. Raiders need to convert on 3rd down here. Bowler out of the shotgun. He sends Gordon and Miller left to right, flips the formation. Denarius Moore goes out wide right, and Derek Hagan goes left. Rankin to the left of Bowler in the gun on 3rd down and 4. Bowler looks right and got hit. He fumbled the ball. He dives back on it. He will keep it, but the Raiders must punt as they do not convert again, Tom, on 3rd down.
Yeah, protection broke down a little bit. He was looking for a receiver. He was getting ready to throw, and all of a sudden the rush was there, so he had to move up in the pocket, and that's when the ball was knocked out.
Looked like David Howard got in there and poked the ball out. Glenn Pakalak is going to handle all the punts and all the placements the remainder of the game. Golden Tate, I think he was the star of the first half, had a good long punt return. A deep catch will take this punt from the left-footed Pakalak. Has room to go 12. Chimdi Chekwa had a tackle wrapped up, then lost it, and then Lehman, who the Raiders just signed this week off San Diego's roster. They waived him, made a nice tackle there. That is Jeremy Lehman. 11:53 to play 3rd quarter. 10-3 Seattle on the Raiders Broadcasting Network.
On the Raiders Broadcasting Network, Raiders trail 10-3. I am with Richard Seymour. And Richard, still a lot of football here, but you open up on the road, a hostile environment against your rival, the Denver Broncos.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to that matchup. And, it's to open the season and, get a win, and that's what we're trying to do. So, it's going to be a hostile environment in enemy's territory, but, the Raiders don't mind.
Greg, back to you.
Thomas Clayton on a cutback run picks up about 7. Rich, the Denver Broncos have changed coaches in the offseason. Josh McDaniels is gone. They bring in John Fox, who likes to pound the rock. No Sean Moreno's their lead guy, and they brought in Willis McGahee. So tell me about the Raiders' rush defense. What do you guys got to do early in the year? And think about it at the moment. I'm going to call this 2nd and 4 to shut down the running game of the Broncos on opening night and all year. Thomas Clayton off the left side will run for a first down. He's going to come back, though. Ed Hockley himself, the referee, threw a flag, probably a hold. So how do you go into Denver and shut down that ground game opening night, Rich?
Well, I think, the running game is simple in my opinion. When you look at the running game, it's just really everyone doing their job. And, if we can just do our job across the front, I know it's easier said than done, but that's the mindset that we have to have going into that football game. I have to take care of my responsibilities at defensive tackle, and if everyone does their job, Shaughnessy all across the board, take care of their responsibilities, then I think we'll be fine. So, we're definitely looking forward to it. It's an opportunity for us to go into to Denver and Monday Night Football and in a hostile environment and get a big win. So we're definitely looking forward to that matchup.
2nd and 13 after the holding call. Whitehurst starts one out. Catch made by the tight end, Anthony McCoy. That's a first down. Jerome Boyd will pull him down, but not before he reaches the Seattle 34-yard line. First 2 are on the road, Denver, Buffalo. Then you come home for teams you know well, the Jets in the AFC East. And tell me what your thoughts are going to be like on October the 2nd when your former team, the New England Patriots, come into the black hole.
Well, you know what? I don't want to think about that one just yet. We want to take care of the Denver Broncos and then move forward and take it one game at a time. So on that week, you can probably come to me, and I have a lot of I have some interesting things to say for sure.
I know you have them right now. You just don't want to say. When the schedule came out, you must have seen that date right away, though, huh?
No, absolutely. I played all my career there, and obviously was very successful, and but I'm here as a Raider, and I'm enjoying my time here, and like I said, I want to retire a Raider, so it is what it is.
Sounds good. 2nd down and 8. Seattle on the 37-yard line, their own 37. We're visiting with Richard Seymour, a 6-time Pro Bowler, made his 6th Pro Bowl as a Raider last year. Bruce Davis came on a blitz and a run to the fullback. What'd you say, Rich Boyce, the fullback in the flat there?
I said I'm looking for number 7 this year.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Yeah,
You're going to go
absolutely.
every year. These first 2 home games, to me, 2 on the road you got a good chance to get. Tell me about the importance of these first 2 home games. We're trying to get the O.Co. Coliseum sold out for those first 2 home games. Playing the Jets and Patriots back-to-back. That's quite a challenge, huh?
Well, yeah, absolutely it is, and I think we have to lean on our fans. Our fans are very definitely tremendous supportive for us. Anytime you play in the black hole, there's really no place. I've played in just about every NFL stadium in the country, and when you play in the black hole and the fans and the support that we have, I tell you, especially as a defensive lineman, that's what you want to have. And so I'm going to be rallying for our 12th man to come and sell out the black hole when we get ready to play the Jets and the Patriots.
1-800-Raiders and Raiders.com to get your tickets all year. You've been happy the last 2 years, but you're smiling more, I think, even more this year because you got your family coming out to stay with you this year.
Yeah,
huh?
absolutely. It's been a situation where I have commitment and, signed a long-term extension. And, it's an opportunity for my family to come out. So my kids are in school in the Oakland area, and my wife is here. So, anytime you have your family with you, you can go out and concentrate and really focus on football. So it's I don't have to be flying back and forth across country at this point, so it's a great deal.
And we'll look forward to seeing the entire Seymour family out for the home opener against the Jets on the 25th.
Absolutely.
Rich, thank you, man.
Absolutely.
Have a great year.
Raider Nation.
Richard Seymour. While we've been chatting, the Seahawks have been gashing the Raiders. Thomas Clayton getting cutback run after cutback run, Tom, and finally the Raiders get angry about it here. Bonnie Jauju, the outside linebacker, got in and stuffed it, bringing up a 2nd down and 10. Seattle on the Raider 26-yard line.
Yeah, it's they're going against the backups. The Seahawks still have their rookies right side because it's pretty obvious they feel they need as much work as possible. And the Raider second or third groups, whatever groups are in there, they're just being handled too easily.
In fact, 3/5 of the Seahawk O-line started the game tonight. Whitehurst lobs went out to McCoy, and he was a little bit overthrown there. He also had Dominic Byrd, the tight end of the area. They have both rookies on the right side still in, James Carpenter and John Moffitt, and they have Tyler Columbus at left tackle. He started the game for Russell Okun. And the Raiders got some pressure there. Again, I believe it may be, is it Jeremy Lehman or Lemon? I'm not sure how it's pronounced. In any event, the Raiders just signed him off waivers from San Diego, Jim. A 4-time academic All-Big Ten player at Illinois, an instinctive player. And Jeremy Lemon is playing well here on special teams and linebacker from scrimmage. Whitehurst, time to throw, catch, Golden Tate. First down, Seattle, pulled down by Joey Porter. And it's inside the red zone. 1st and 10, Seattle on the Raider 13-yard line. A flag also down to the deep secondary.
Yeah, there's a holding, I think. It must be on the. I'm not sure who they're going to call it on, but probably the Raiders at this point.
Ed Hockley.
The pass was thrown, holding defense number 28. That penalty is declined. The play results in a 1st down.
It's on Joey Porter.
Yeah, but they brought in another linebacker, Pop, because they were getting a little thin. They felt they need a little bit more backup in the inside linebacker position, and he can do a lot of other things as well, especially on special teams. And he's getting a first look at the Raider defense playing against Seattle.
Rod Woodson and Chuck Bresnahan pulled Joey Porter off the field. There's another big run down inside the 5-yard line. This is Vai Tao out of Nevada, where he played in the pistol attack behind Colin Kaepernick, 3-time All-WAC running back. Well, he put up some hellacious numbers for Chris Ault, ran for over 1,500 yards his senior year, 19 touchdowns, and was a 3-time All-Western Athletic Conference performer. Powell is stacked up this time at the line, and the Raiders defense, let's see if they can get stout on 3rd down. Darrell Blackstock on the tackle for the Raiders. Stevie Brown was also in there as well. 3rd down and 3 for the Seahawks with 6 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. 10-3 Seattle. Their only touchdown was scored in the 2nd quarter against the 2nd-team Raider defense. Play clock at 10. They're just now breaking the huddle, Jim. They got to hustle here.
Now they can get off in time. He's experienced.
Raiders up there with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just gets it off. Hand off to Clayton. 2nd man through. And the Raider defense holds. Nicely done there. Jamie Cumby in on the tackle for Chuck Bresnahan.
Bobby, it's amazing how much quicker the quarterback can speak when that clock is running down to try and get the play off. And he was successful in doing that as well.
Yeah, it looks like they might be thinking about going for it on the 4th down. Is it 4th down? Yeah, it's 4th down. Instead of kicking the field goal, going for it.
Pete Carroll, 2nd-year head coach in the NFL after his 10-year run at Southern California, will go for it here with 5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Raiders played the Seahawks last year on Halloween and blew out the Seahawks 33-3. Play clock at 2, and now Pete Carroll will call a timeout here. So we'll see what they do when we come back. 4th down and 1 on the Raider 3-yard line with 4:49 to play 3rd quarter. Seahawks 10, Raiders 3 on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Greg Papa, Tom Flores, Jim Plunkett in the broadcast booth on our radio and TV simulcast on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Pete Carroll is going to go for it, Tom, on 4th down and 1 from the Raider 3-yard line.
Yeah, and they brought Golden back in, the Golden Tate, as the lone wide receiver.
Look out for a fade. Lito Shepard has him. They're going to run Thomas Clayton off the right side of the Raiders. Will stuff that and get the ball back. Nice defensive stand there. The left side of the Raider defensive line, and Darrell Blackstock in the 2nd line. The linebacking core made the tackle, and he's still slow to get up. He is down on the field. Blackstock now going to roll over.
Yeah, and they're going to call for a measurement, I believe, in this.
Well, I didn't think they got any push at all. They needed a good yard, Jim. Now, he got stuffed way back, but he came off the hit of Blackstock as there was helmet on helmet, and the back, Thomas Clayton, was a powerful guy after he got hit.
He did roll forward, so we got to see exactly where that ball wound up.
Chuck Bresnahan likes the initial hit of Blackstock, and the Raiders will take over on downs here. They are short. Blackstock is woozy, though. Dr. Warren King and Raider head trainer Rod Martin and Scott Touche are out, and he looks wobbly. He will likely not be coming back into the game after that reaction.
But it was good penetration by the left side of the line, Blackstock and number 73, Barksdale, I believe, to get back into the backfield. Cumby, I should say.
Raiders will take over on their 3-yard line when we come back, James. 4:42 to play 3rd quarter. 10-3 Seattle on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Welcome back to CenturyLink Field in our radio and TV simulcast on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Greg Papa, Tom Flores, Jim Plunkett upstairs. Game day calls for bold flavor. Samuel Adams, Boston Lager, a great addition to any tailgate lineup. Samuel Adams, take pride in your beer. From their own 3-yard line, trying to move from south to north, Michael Bennett off the right side will pick up only a yard or so running behind the youthful right side of the Raiders O-line. Joe Barksdale, the rookie round 3 pick out of LSU, playing at right tackle. And Bruce Campbell, big Bruce Campbell, out of Maryland now in his 2nd year playing at right guard.
A lot of beef over there.
2nd and 9. Raiders shift into a true eye. Manasseh Tonga, the fullback, ahead of Michael Bennett. Derek Hagan goes left to right, double tight ends. Bowler will throw from his end zone. He runs away from a safety and slides out to around the 5-yard line. Right as he hit his back foot, he got pressure, Jim, but he quickly sensed it coming and was able to run out of the end zone and slide out to his 5.
Yeah, he avoided his safety. He felt the pressure on his backside. Number, I can't see the number exactly, but he felt it right away and just took off and avoided that safety.
There was a blitz from safety. Josh Pinkert, former USC Trojan, came on a safety blitz. Gus Bradley, the Seattle Seahawks defensive coordinator, being aggressive here. Now Bowler is checking down the line. He has to flip the tight end here. Richard Gordon was right. He wants some tight left. Play clock at 3-2 on third down. There's pressure. He throws over the middle. Caught by Derek Hagan. First down, Raiders. Boy, this guy in a crowd, coach, could go up and take the ball away. What a powerful catch that was by Hagan to pick up 16 yards on third down.
Yeah, Hagan just every game he does something to impress you, and every game he makes it a little tougher on the cut because he's going to be hard to not cut. I mean, to not keep on his team.
Former Arizona State Sun Devil Jim took that away from Richard Sherman, who was at a good camp in preseason. The former Stanford Cardinal.
Right.
Bowler a straight drop. Had a pump. Throw in the left flat behind Tonga. Dropped it. Manasseh made a nice adjustment time to reach back with his left hand, but that ball was thrown behind him.
Yeah, he was really trying to go down. He was trying to go down to Moore, Denarius Moore on the left side, who had run kind of a hook and go, but was not open down the field, so he had to come underneath.
And you talk a little bit more about Richard Sherman, who went to Stanford. He started out as wide receiver his first 2 years. He switched to defensive back. Struggled that very first year, but then last year when they went to the Orange Bowl, had a fabulous career at cornerback for the Cardinal.
There's Bowler on second down, Jim. And he's running for his life. He'll be hit from behind by Fountain. And he'll be dropped on the 20-yard line. That'll be a sack, I believe. Technically a yard loss as we check in with JT on the field.
Well, Greg, you know this place gets loud. You know where else it gets pretty loud? Invesco Field at Mile High. So this is great practice for the Raiders as everyone's up on the sideline. The crowd, this is a preseason game, but it'll get the Raiders ready for 10 days from now as they're in Denver to take on the Broncos.
Yeah, they actually have renamed that field, JT. No longer Invesco Field. Now it's known as Sports Authority Field at Mile High. They've also renamed this place. It used to be Quest Field, now CenturyLink Field. Whatever it's called, it will be loud on Monday Night Football as Bowler throws one down the right sideline. Denarius Moore had it broken up by Richard Sherman. Moore almost made a tremendous catch, Tom. He had to backpedal to get the ball, and as he was falling down, the ball was knocked out of there by Richard Sherman.
Yeah, they're
flag down?
There's a flag down, I believe.
Yes,
Sherman grab him? That's got to be a hold or a PI on Sherman.
Yeah. He had to. Moore actually had to wait for that ball. He was Bowler tried to throw it on the line in between the two defenders, and so it was a little late in getting there because he couldn't get much air in it. And so Moore had to wait for it, turn around, and try to catch it backing up.
They did not call it a pass interference, only a 5-yard hold, but it does give the Raiders a 1st and 10. Draw, Lewis Rankin. And he gets hit in the hole and dropped by Malcolm Smith, the former USC Trojan. Also Matt McCoy in on the tackle for the Seahawks, former Philadelphia Eagle. And Bruce Campbell is down. The Raider right guard is down. He's having a hard time getting up. He had a right knee injury in training camp.
Well, this looks like it might be the left leg now.
He cannot get up off the field. Dr. King and Rod Martin and Scott Touche are out. Now he's going to roll over on his backside. He cannot get up. He'll take a break. Hopefully he'll be all right as he's trying to get up under his own power. 1:41 to go third quarter, 10-3. Seattle leads on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. He is up now. 1-800-RAIDERS, Raiders.com to get your Raider tickets all year. And during our live broadcast tonight, there is a Raider staff member at the Alameda offices to take your phone call right now. And to get you any kind of ticket plan you are searching for, they have several to choose from. 1-800-RAIDERS. Bruce Campbell was able to walk off the field in his own power. Seth Wand replacing him at right guard. A screen set up right. 3 Seahawks, Tom, surrounded Lewis Rankin, so Kyle Bowler just threw the ball into the ground.
Well, the Raiders are a good screen team, and Hugh Jackson loves to run a lot of screens. But that time there were 3 Seahawk jerseys out there and 1 running back. So the odds were in their favor, so that's why the ball was thrown into the ground.
They read screen, and they were right. 3rd down and 12. 1:22 to go, 3rd quarter. Raiders down 10-3 in Seattle. Bowler throws out right, high, incomplete. We had Sean Boddiford there, but the ball was a little high. Boddiford got up to go get it, but could not pull it down. It was up above his reach, Jim, and now they'll bring in Pakalak, and they'll punt the football away.
And that time there's a little bit better protection by the offensive line of the Raiders, giving Bowler a chance to get the ball down the field, but unfortunately it wasn't quite on target.
So here's the punt of Pakalak, left-footed punter, punting for Shane Leckler. Richard Sherman has dropped back deep to return this for Pete Carroll. Not a good punt by Pakalak. Sherman, a running start coming up, 25-30. And he has hit a drop. Boy, John Kondo is so fast. The Raiders' long snapper got down there, even with a low hit like that. Only a 37-yard punt. They hold the return to 5 yards. 1:07 to go, 3rd quarter. 10-3 Seattle on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Quarterback change. Charlie Whitehurst played pretty well, 9 of 15 for 140 yards after their new starter Tavares Jackson opened the game. And here is Josh Portis, Jim, a rookie free agent signing out of California University in Pennsylvania, the Vulcans.
Giving the young kid a chance to play a little bit of quarterback here in the preseason.
Started at Florida when Tim Tebow was there, transferred to Maryland and left there and went to the state of Pennsylvania, California University. Impressive athlete, fires one over the middle, and a catch made there for a short gain. That is Chris Carter, former UC Davis Aggie, wearing a new number. He was wearing 16 early in the preseason. They cut him, and then with all the injuries in their wide receiving corps, Mike Williams, Sidney Rice, Ben Obamanu, Isaiah Standback, they had to re-sign Carter this week just to have enough wideouts to play this game tonight.
Yeah, they did.
2nd and 3 for Portis. He is the cousin of Clinton Portis, Pro Bowl running back, who the Seahawks actually worked out this week. Inside handoff out of a spread formation of Thomas Clayton, a stiff arm there on Lamont, and he runs for a 1st down. Clayton's a powerful guy, isn't he?
Seemed to be on that one. He was a nice stiff arm because he would have been caught in the backfield for a loss. Instead of a loss, he picks up about 5 yards for a 1st down.
Stiff arm Lamont, and coming over with Sterling Moore out of Deer Valley High School to make the tackle on what will be the final play of the 3rd quarter. 3 seconds to go, 2-1, and that'll be the 3rd quarter of play here in Seattle. We'll begin the 4th quarter with Seattle on top of the Raiders by a score of 10-3. This is the Raiders Broadcasting Network.
You know, that mano a mano, you know, that creed, it's a physical Raider Nation tag, you know what I mean? And I think that's the best way that you can actually outwill and just out-tough your opponent. You know what I mean? You don't have to worry about playing zone. You go out there just man on man, and you show him who's the better man.
And the Raiders secondary coming up big here. Interception by Matt Giordano. A flag is down. They were going to Ricardo Lockett, Tom, on the big ball. Josh Portis a bomb, but Giordano came up with an INT. Now let's see what the flag is for.
Yeah, I think Joey Porter was flagrant on that one. Looked like he had...
Pass interference, defense, number 28.
Yep.
The ball is placed at the spot of the foul. 1st down.
Well, that'll nullify the interception, and Porter picks up a pass interference call. You're hearing from Stanford Route, a new stat in the NFL from Stats Inc. called burn percentage, and Stanford Route did not get burned that often. Right behind Darrell Revis and Terrence McGee, and right with his former teammate Nnamdi Asomugha, and he had many more balls coming his way. 99 times he was targeted last year. Nam just 33. Our burn percentage brought to you by 76 Gasoline. We're not just top-tier detergent gas. We're on the driver's side. That pass interference call will put the ball inside the 30 for Josh Portis. Get a lob one left, and another bump, and a flag comes down. No. Good coverage there by Chimdi Chekwa on Williams as we say hello to Stanford Route and George Atkinson downstairs. George.
Stanford, preseason's coming to a close rapidly.
Yeah.
10 days, you got the Denver Broncos. You ready?
Oh, yeah. Can't wait.
Greg?
Hey, I just gave the audience the burn percentage stats, Stan. Have you heard that at all? The amount of times you were beaten last year was among the league leaders?
I heard it a couple times, but it's something that it really didn't, I guess, pick up steam until the off season came out, and all the stats and the publications and stuff like that. But it's definitely something that I take pride in, and I just want to keep going forward and keep ascending.
Well, you should. Among the guys in the top tier, I mean, you were thrown at a lot more with Nnamdi. Do you think with Nnamdi leaving and Chris Johnson coming in now, teams will stay away from you more this year and go towards Chris Johnson's side?
Maybe not. Like I said, every time I go out there, I just always try to play as if the ball is coming my way every play. Because, the moment that you relax, that's the moment that you can get beat, or, they can catch you sleeping and really take advantage of you. So I just go out and prepare every week as if that's going to be the week where they come at me, every play, or just, they're going to come at me a lot and just try to pick on me.
Patrick Williams on the comeback route inside the Raider 20-yard line. One of the things that you have done as a Raider is jump into the slot, which is so difficult to do. Are you going to do that this year, or is Michael Huff going to do that? Are you going to stay on the outside more this year? How's that going to work?
All I know is this year, we're going to try some new things. This year I might stay outside. I might go inside. You guys just have to wait and see. But as of right now, I've been doing a little bit more outside than years past.
You're so good inside as well. Stan, congratulations to you on your new deal. Have a good year this year.
I appreciate it. Happy to do it. Raider Nation, we got your back.
All right, Jeff Reed makes the field goal here from 36 yards out, and the Seahawks now take a 2-score lead as they go up 13-3 with 13:21 to go in the preseason. From Seattle, this is the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Preseason of 2011, we're getting set for a week from Monday night when the Raiders open the new year in Denver. Week 2 will be in Buffalo, then home for the Jets and Patriots to begin the home schedule. 1-800-Raiders and Raiders.com. to get your seats all year long for what promises to be a very exciting year. Raiders swept the AFC West last year, Tom, 6-0. Remember that game they played in Denver last year, October the 24th of a year ago, and they scored 8 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I'm still hoarse after that game.
Yeah, you think they'll be waiting for that one in Denver to show it again?
I think so. Short one taken by the tight end out of the air. It was Gordon who made the, Kevin Brock. Kevin Brock fielded that and ran it straight ahead for 18 yards. Raiders will take over across their 20 when we come back down 13-3. 13 minutes to play in the game of the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Call it the Sodo District here in Seattle. This is where the Kingdome used to be, right on these very grounds. Now the new home of the Seahawks, Century Link Field, formerly Quest Field. 13:15 to play. Kyle Bowler at quarterback. There's a play action to Michael Bennett. Bowler cocks to throw, does not. Going to scramble out to his left, pumps, nowhere to go. Verbora will hit him. He'll run by that hit and then come forward for a couple of more before going down on the 32-yard line.
You know, it's important that a lot of these young players, play well, even though they may not stay with their respective teams. But other coaches and scouts are looking at what they're doing out there tonight, and if they don't wind up with these teams out there tonight, they may wind up somewhere else. So it's important that they do play well and show what they can actually do out there.
Cut-down day is tomorrow, Tom. Derek Hagan has had a wonderful August. Here's a stuff in the backfield. Michael Bennett did not get going at all, and he got blasted right after he took the handoff there. A.J. Shabley able to get in and make the hit.
Somebody forgot to block Shambly. He was in the backfield untouched. But, a lot of these guys, as Jim mentioned, it's going to be almost a zoo tomorrow, because there's going to be so many free agents out there that it might take a week or two before a lot of them settle in someplace else.
A lot of the teams actually started cutting today. 3rd and 6, Bowler is sacked back on the 21-yard line. Bruce Campbell, by the way, has come back into the game for the Raiders. He limped off the field on the previous series, the big right guard, and he was able to come back in on that series, so that's a good sign. Not a good sign is the quarterback going down again.
No, not unimpressive series again. I mean, the Raiders, this offensive line here just can't seem to block anybody right now.
Glenn Pakalak will punt. Left-footed punter standing inside his 8-yard line, former New Orleans Saint. And that is fumbled away. It's a live ball, and Boterford's got it for the Raiders in midfield. Sean Boterford recovers the fumble. It was Walter Thurman who was back returning that punt. Great athlete. Now, Bodiford had it initially, and it is Raider football. What a scrum. Thurman came up slightly. First punt, he has fielded it, and he fumbled it directly forward, and Bodiford, Tom, just came sliding in before everybody else to get that ball.
Well, it was such a poor punt. It's, you know, these are not Shane Leckler punts. It was such a poor punt coming at a funny angle, and he tried to field it, and all of a sudden it's down around his ankles, and he just had trouble fielding it.
Bodiford, tremendous play. He is from this area, Federal Way, Washington. He made a gutsy play on special teams to get that ball back, the former Portland State wide receiver. So let's see if the Raiders can make a play to get back into this game a bit. They are down 2 scores, but plenty of time remain. 11:25 to go. Brock goes in motion, stays left though. Lone back is Rankin, straight drop. They pump, and a lob down the sideline, a flag. They bump Derek Hagan off his route, and that'll be a hold or a pass interference called on Seattle. Hagan is saying they grabbed his face mask. That's Byron Maxwell. The big corner was called for a PI earlier in the game. Well, Seattle's corners, they're so big and physical, Tom, but they've been called for, I think, 4 combination pass interference / holds tonight.
Well, they've gotten beat on some of them pretty badly. You know, hook and go, stop and go earlier in the game, and
before
that
the
time
pass was thrown, personal foul, face mask. Defense number 41 grabbed the receiver's mask. 15 yards from the previous spot. First down.
That's a big one.
Yeah. You want to be physical if you're going to play tight coverage, man-to-man, bump and run, whatever you want to call it. You want to be physical, but you also have to stay within the rules. Otherwise, you're going to be giving up a lot of yardage. The yardage out there is big yardage.
And this does not factor in when you look at the yardage in the game tomorrow, but in the penalty section, Seattle's taken a lot of pass interference calls. Darius Hayward-Bay was able to induce 7 penalties, 90 yards for Seattle, and that's the stuff in the backfield. Rankin on the draw, and not fooled at all was Jerron Johnson.
Well, he wasn't full. He was coming off the edge, and the Raiders obviously didn't see him coming off the edge, and he just came untouched and got the runner in the backfield.
There was just nobody to block him. A safety blitz coming from the outside. That play wasn't designed to hold up against that kind of pass or rush from the defense.
Johnson's had a great preseason. Rookie free agent defensive back out of Boise State, where he made 44 starts. Bowler back, throws middle, catch. Derek Hagan lost the ball coming down. Catch, fumble, or no catch? They're saying no catch. He went up in the air, got popped as he was coming down to the ground. He was going to be spilled, and he landed hard on his tailbone. Kennard Cox got in there and knocked the ball out as he was tumbling down, Jim.
A real good in route by Derek Hagan there. Just couldn't come up with it, being double teamed kind of out there, being hit on both sides by the defenders. Fine throw by Kyle Buller, though, to get it to the right spot.
He actually flipped over, landed on his belly and not his tailbone. Play action to Rankin. Bowler going to lob one. He overthrew Hagan. Hagan was open on the corner route, Coach, and he simply overshot him there on 3rd and 15.
Yeah, the Seahawks are playing a 2-deep zone that time, and he got in between the short man and the deep safety. But the ball would have had to been perfectly thrown, and it looks like the Raiders on 4th down here, 4th and 15, are going to go for it.
They are, but they're not going to have Hagan as a target. He needs a play off after landing hard and running a corner route right after. So he'll come off on 4th down. Denarius Moore goes wide right, watched by Richard Sherman. Chad Jackson goes wide left, watched by Kennard Cox. 4th down. Bowler under siege, got hit. His arm was coming forward. That'll be an incomplete pass. Crowd thinks it was a fumble that had squirted out, but his arm was coming forward as he got hit from behind by Pep Livingston and also Matt McCoy. And Bowler, with a limp, will jog off the field. 10:26 to play in the preseason of 2011. Raiders down 13-3 in Seattle on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. There's the uncle, Steve Wisniewski, upstairs, one of the great Raiders of all time. He's now an assistant offensive line coach with Bob Wiley. And Stephen downstairs will be visiting with George momentarily. 1st and 10 Seattle on their 40-yard line. Tawa again on the run off the left side, picks up about 4. Let's hear from the nephew. JT's downstairs.
Thank you, Greg. What a year it's been for you, from playing for Joe Paterno to being drafted by Al Davis. Tell us about this ride.
Oh, it's been a heck of a year. Shoot, started with a bowl game back there with Penn State, winning Joe Pa's 400th, and went through the whole, training process and the draft. Sure enough, get picked by the team I rooted for my whole life, and here I am playing for them. It's been great.
Craig?
Hang on, Stephen. 2nd and 6, Seattle on their 44-yard line. Josh Portis going to give it to Taya again. Then back out of Nevada. He'll be a yard short. I know you came to a lot of Raider games on the road, but tell me about coming to Oakland. I think after the 2000 season, you were there for that playoff game against the Miami Dolphins when the Raiders beat up Jay Fiedler that day, huh?
Yeah, it was, and that was a heck of a game to be at. That was my first experience with the home Raider crowd, which is an awesome crowd. Got to see a little bit of it. Now here as a player, and they're great fans, and it was a heck of an experience for me.
Seahawks are going to get up on the line here, try to convert on 3rd down and 1. Dominic Byrd, the tight end, goes in motion left to right. Tao again off the left side. 1st down, Seattle. And he breaks the tackle to the 42-yard line. You've worn the black jersey. A flag comes down as well a couple of times in the preseason. But have you thought at all about September the 25th against the New York Jets when you come out in that black jersey and play a game as a Raider in Oakland? Have you given any thought to what that day is going to be like for you?
I've been thinking more about the opener against the Broncos. We got to take them one at a time, and shoot, wearing the white and black's pretty cool too. And we got to go out there and play strong against the Broncos and get the season started off right. And
you made your 2nd straight start at left guard. For Joe Pa, you played center and you played right guard. How has the conversion been with the footwork going from right guard to left guard, Steph?
It's taken some time, and I'm not anywhere near where I need to be yet. I'm getting on people, I'm blocking them, but got a lot of work to do, before and after practice, drilling my footwork before I really feel great in there.
3rd down and 11 after a holding call. They put Josh Portis into the gun. And Portis starts one over the middle, broken up and incomplete, almost intercepted. Chimbi Chekwa with a nice play. What's it like to be coached by your uncle? Is he hard on you, Steph?
Yeah, he's certainly not easy on me, but I wouldn't have it any other way. He really wants me to be great and wants everyone on our O-line to be great, and he's been awesome. He's really committed to staying after practice, before practice, whatever, staying on guys, and we know that he knows what it takes to be a great O-lineman, so we're listening to him and we're doing what he's telling us, and I think we can see across the board we're all getting better.
8-time Pro Bowler. Steph, thank you.
Sure, thanks.
Good luck to you in Denver and in the home opener against the Jets. First punt of the night by John Ryan, and it's so good it's going to be a touchback. He hit a little bit too hard. 61-yard punt. It'll be a net of 41 of the touchback. First punt all night, and he unleashed one there. 8.5 to go. 13-3 Seattle on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. A 221-yard night on Monday Night Football, November the 30th of 1987. Marcus Allen also had a big night that night.
Marcus actually blocked for him on that last touchdown you just saw. He was a fullback on that play.
1st and 10 Raiders on their own 20-yard line. Kyle Bowler, a straight drop, 7 steps, a pump, and over the middle. It is caught for the first down out to the 45-yard line. Richard Gordon, nice catch by Gordon, Jim, reaching up above his helmet, and Bowler with a real dart, 26-yard gain.
It was double zone, and that's a perfect pass to call right up the seam to the tight end. Good throw, good catch.
Kyle Bowler limped off the field, Tom, after the last series, but he stepped into that throw.
That ball has to be thrown perfectly because there are a lot of guys around it, but there are seams.
Michael Bennett off the right side. Turned back inside by Richard Sherman and tackled by Jerron Johnson. Short gain for Michael Bennett. 2nd down and 8 coming up for the Raiders on their 48-yard line. 7:45 to play in the preseason. Raiders begin the regular season again a week from Monday night in Denver. A team that they beat not only twice last year, but they decimated twice. They aggregate score in their 2 wins was 98-37. Last time they went to Denver, October the 24th, they scored a franchise record 8 touchdowns. Bowler with a rollout right throw and a catch coming back, then a drop. Richard Gordon had it for a moment, and as he extended down to the field turf here, the ball hit the ground and squirted out.
Yeah, good play by Kyle Bowler, getting out of trouble. There was under a lot of duress, a lot of pressure. There is a flag out there, but he did get the ball off, and it should have been caught.
Flag in the deep secondary, Tom. This could be against Seattle here.
But there's Bowler getting out of trouble, and as he's going down, throws a pretty good pass.
There was no foul for illegal contact because the quarterback left the pocket. 3rd down.
Well, they pick up the flag. Kyle Bowler, 4 of 11 so far tonight, Tom, 63 yards.
Yeah, he hasn't had much of a chance, though, Greg. He's been under duress most of the night. You know, very rarely has he had ample time to throw.
3rd down and 8 on the Raider 48-yard line. 7:19 to play in the game. Michael Bennett to Bowler's right in the gun. Slot left, Nick Miller inside of Sean Bodiford. Derek Hagan is right. Pocket holds, throw out left, a short one again to Nick Miller. To see if they go for it on 4th down. 5 Seahawks come rushing up to tackle him on the Seattle 49-yard line. Now they're still about 4 yards short, 4 or 5. See if Hugh Jackson goes for it on 4th down.
Yeah, I think he is.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackson, Raider head coach, of course, will continue to be the main play caller. Nick Miller, Sean Bodiford, Chad Jackson, and now Eddie McGee are in a 2-by-2 formation. 2 left, 2 right on 4th and 4. Bowler back, throws, incomplete. Eddie McGee never quite got his head turned around, and the ball was coming over the top of his helmet. The Raiders cannot convert on 3rd down. They do not convert on 4th down, and they will go back out on defense with 6:33 to play in the game.
And Seattle has a tendency in those real tight situations, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 7, 4th and whatever, to come with a lot of people, put a lot of pressure on the quarterback and make him throw the perfect pass to the receiver.
So 6.5 minutes to go, boys, in the preseason of 2011. This is the final preseason game for the entire league. And I think the one major talking point and debate this preseason has been the positioning of the kickoff line back to the 35-yard line. Here's Chris Carter out of UC Davis breaking a tackle of Joey Porter, and he will dive down to around the 26-yard line. Chris Carter had a tremendous career up at Davis. Then he got hurt. 26-yard catch and run for Davis. You know, the Raiders for Carter out of Davis, the Raiders were one of 6 teams not to vote for that adjustment of the kickoff spot, Tom, from 30 back to 35. I would not be surprised if next season they wind up changing that back to the 30-yard line.
Well, I think you got to give it the whole season, obviously. They'll have some statistics going out of preseason on what the difference is and what the effect is in the game.
There's Josh Portis throwing, and Chris Carter got blasted there by Joey Porter. Of course, the competition committee suggested that. And speaking of which, the very first NFL competition committee go back to 1968. And you have Tex Schramm, then the president GM of the Dallas Cowboys, Paul Brown, who was then a head coach with the Bengals. Vince Lombardi no longer was coaching then. He was the GM of the Packers. And, of course, Al Davis was the 4th member of that first competition committee ever formed by Pete Rozelle. And they had a major impact on pro football for decades and decades. Tawa breaks a tackle of Joey Porter and picks up a few. I mean, that original competition committee got things going, such as the placement of names in the back of jerseys, the 2-point conversion, which would come into play in the NFL in the 90s, the official time clock being kept, the goalpost being moved to the end line, the implementation of overtime, and also the movement of the kickoff line. It used to be the 40-yard line. They moved it to the 35, then they moved it to the 30, and now they move it back to the 35, so we shall see. But that original competition committee impacted pro football for decades and decades, and Al Davis was on the original one. Ricardo Lockett in the end zone draws a pass interference call on Chimdi Chekwa, and that'll put the ball on the goal line.
Yeah, no question there. No question interference there. I mean, you're out there. There's nobody else around but you and the receiver.
Defense, number 35. Ball is placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
You're not going to get away with it.
We've had more pass interference calls tonight, Jim, than we've had balls completed down the field.
A lot of ups thrown tonight. They see a lot of one-on-one man coverage. Blitz is coming. So, you got to beat your man if you're a receiver, and if you're a defender, you've got to cover him. And it's very tough out there being isolated all by yourself.
Well, that's one of the benefits of throwing the ball deep down the field. You don't have to necessarily complete it, but if you get a yellow hanky on the field, it's the same thing. First and goal, 4-yard line. Towler will walk into the end zone on a cut, and the Seahawks are into the end zone. Easily done there. 19 going on 20-3 for Seattle. Raider third team defense shaking their heads a bit.
Well, they should be shaking their heads. They all stood up straight in the air. You stand up straight in the air, you're not going to go anywhere but backwards.
Giordano got blocked. Jamie Cumbie did not even play college football last year with Clemson. So Clayton runs for one touchdown, and Tawa out of Nevada. Well, Colin Kaepernick in the pistol in Nevada, or Chris Algin, and behind him was Tawa. These guys could run. Jeff Reed, the former Pittsburgh Steeler, makes the PAT, and Seattle goes to 20-3 leaders here with 5:12 to play.
And you talk about Nevada, they were the only team to beat Boise State last year.
Yep. Friday night after Thanksgiving a year ago. Now Chuck Bresnahan, the media is going to make a big deal about how many yards the Raiders have given up in the preseason time. And they've given up a lot. The first three games over 1,300 yards. And tonight they've given up a lot of yards. This last drive was a 4-play, 52-yard drive. So the total for Seattle is going to be high. But one thing that Hugh Jackson has talked about, and Chuck Bresnahan as well, is that when the first team defense has been on the field, the opponents have not scored much. They've not gotten in the end zone very much. The Raiders have given up a field goal here and there. And keep in mind, Chris Johnson has not played this preseason. He will be in Denver, he assures us, a week from Monday. Richard Seymour has missed the last two preseason games. So it all really boils down to the first team defense and how they're doing.
Yeah, there are a lot of things that can be, that are going to happen once the season starts. Hopefully, the health of the defense will get better, and missing Seymour is a big, that's a big gap to fill, because he's not only is he a good player, a great player, but he's also a great leader on the field too. And they've been out of position a little bit too much.
Jeff Reed will kick off to Lewis Rankin. He'll take it from the goal line, straight up the middle, behind the block of Tonga. Good blocking fullback, and also on the kickoff return will roll out to about the 27-yard line as we roll downstairs to JT.
Guys, last week during NBC's broadcast, Chris Collinsworth told us about Sean Payton seeking out Raiders owner Al Davis before the game, paying his respects. It just goes to show you, while he had some critics there, those in the football circle know no one has made a more profound impact on the game of football than Al Davis. Back to you, Greg.
Thank you, JT. Here's Kyle Bowler now with 5 minutes to play. Draw to Lewis Rankin up the middle. And he will pick up about 4 yards. Flag came down again, James.
Yeah, you bet.
In the deep secondary at midfield here. Got to be against Seattle. In fact, another flag comes in 5 seconds after the play was over. Ed Hockley's crew has had a busy night.
12 men in the field, defense. That's a 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
They went to the 4-4-4 defense, Tom.
Yeah. I mean, it's not bad enough that they're ahead. Now they're trying to cheat.
And a pickup on what JT was saying, Sean Payton is before kickoff yesterday. Last week when the Saints were in town, went up in the elevator and visited with Al for about 20 minutes or so. And he said, even to this day, it's a bit intimidating to be around a guy like Al and all the profound impacts he has had on pro football. There's a slant route. Chad Jackson will make the catch and roll forward to around the 41-yard line. And Al Davis interviewed Sean Payton for that head coaching job in between Art Shell and North Turner. And Sean Payton was told by Bill Parcells that he just was not quite ready to take that job. He needed a couple of more years being an assistant. Out to Bodiford. Bodiford will step out at midfield. And will stop the clock with 4.5 to play in the game.
And right now I think it's just important for the offense to protect well, give Kyle Bowler a chance to move this football team down the field. It's a little tough to win this game, obviously, at this point, but just to execute, to get some confidence out there as an offensive unit.
2nd and 1, Raiders at midfield. Take a shot here, Tom, or try to pick up the first down?
Well, I think they're going to try to get the first down.
Quarterback sneak, and Bowler's got a big hole.
Oh,
picks up about 5.
Nobody in the middle.
Yeah. Little bubble there in the middle of the line, huh, Jim? He saw it, just quick snap and give it to me and let me run for 5.
You know, I don't know if that was called in the huddle or it was just a touch the center's butt and move forward, but obviously it worked well.
That's Alex Parsons now playing at center for the Raiders. Bowler back on 1st and 10. Check down. Rankin can run. 40, 35. Cuts inside and dropped on the Seattle 33-yard line. Lewis Rankin up here at the University of Washington. In fact, the Huskies next year are going to play their home games here at CenturyLink Field while Husky Stadium is renovated. 1st and 10. Bowler back. Going big ball for Botiford, broken up by Richard Sherman. Sherman, the Stanford Cardinal, Jim, with one hand was able to dive out and knock that one away. Otherwise, that was a touchdown to Botiford.
Yeah, it was thrown on quite a bit of a line. He didn't loop it up over the top and let him run under the pass. And it was a good play by Richard Sherman. You know, you don't realize how tall that Richard Sherman is. He's a big fellow. He's got a lot of length to him, and he can run.
I remember him intercepting a pass against Pete Carroll's USC Trojans, running it back 43 yards for a touchdown. Final touchdown that day when Stanford laid 55 on USC. And now Pete Carroll's got him on his side. Lewis Rankin off the left side, and he got tripped up and got nothing, lost 3 yards. 3rd down and 13 Raiders. Trying to hurry up here on the 36-yard line. Got to convert on 3rd down, though. Out cut to Nick Miller. And he was tackled in the field of play by Byron Maxwell. And will keep the clock rolling, and now the Raiders face a 4th down.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if Bowler realized that it was 3rd and 13 because there was no pressure on that. He got rid of that ball right away as if it was a quick, as if he was rushed.
He certainly did, but, you know, then as a quarterback, he should know the down and distance situation.
I think so, yeah.
Nick Miller in the right slot, Botiford outside of him. Chad Jackson is left. 4th and 10. Over the middle, and that's incomplete. Tried to fit it into Chad Jackson. Mark Legree, rookie round 5 safety out of Appalachian State, was there to graze that ball, and the Seahawks will take over on downs. Keep in mind, the Raiders have not had Darren McFadden, their best player on offense, available at all for the preseason, Tom. It was a breakout 2010 season for Run DMC in so many ways. 1,157 yards rushing, and just a fabulous season. Also as a pass catcher, 47 catches and a couple of more touchdowns. He scored 10 touchdowns a year ago, 3 catching and 7 running. He had a huge game against the Denver Broncos in Denver when he scored 4 touchdowns alone, had half of the Raiders' 8 that day.
Yeah, he's just a marvelous football player. The Seahawks had to call time just now because they didn't have 11 guys on the field on offense. But Darren is such a force because he's not only a force running the ball, catching the ball, blocking, just being on the field. His presence and the combination in he and Bush is pretty remarkable.
And keep in mind, Jim, he did all this missing 3 games. He missed weeks 5, 6, and 17. A hamstring injury and a turf toe injury. He's not played in the preseason after fracturing his orbital bone in training camp and a blitz pickup against Quentin Groves. And that's where Tywan Jones comes into play. If McFadden does miss a game here and there due to injury, you've got a guy like Tywan Jones who is very similar to Run DMC.
Yeah, he certainly is.
There's a dive to the fullback for Portis, and Seattle will take it down to the 2-minute warning. So we've reached the point of the preseason, Tom, where it is over. A lot of teams have been cutting all day today. Their rosters, they'll have to all get down to 53 tomorrow. So this coaching staff won't get to sleep at all tonight, huh?
Yeah, they won't.
I'm sure there's a lot of decisions that have already been made or were made even before the game, whether they put them down on paper or not. But there's going to be some tough ones. Wide receivers. There's a bunch of wide receivers out there. Some of the running backs still.
We've reached the Pennzoil 2-minute warning, Tom. Pennzoil, not just oil. Pennzoil, 20-3. Seattle leads the Raiders. This is the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Greg Papa, Tom Flores, and Jim Plunkett up in the broadcast booth. A look at what's on tap for next week, brought to you by Sears, and that will be the season opener. A week from Monday night from Denver, Colorado. Sports Authority Field against Kyle Orton and the Denver Broncos. Seahawks will pick up a first down here. The Raiders do have 3 timeouts to use. We'll see if they elect to use them. Dorson Bryce, the rookie free agent fullback out of Washington, on the dive play. And that's what's on tap. Brought to you by Sears. Get great deals on TVs for your ultimate football experience only at Sears. September the 12th, James, Monday Night Football.
And we're all looking forward to that opener out in Denver.
Week 2 will be in Buffalo, Tom, then home for the Jets and the Patriots. The first 2 home games of the year, September the 25th and October 2nd. 1-800-RAIDERS. You want to make one more phone call here real quickly. The Raiders have a staff member during this live broadcast to the end of the game, so take advantage of it now. They have a ticket plan built for you. Whatever you want, they'll figure out a way to get you inside the O.Co Coliseum in 2011. And a stoppage of play here as a Seahawk player is down with 1:08 to play. Boy, you hate to see that. 68 seconds away from the end of the preseason. And it is the fullback, Dorson Boyce, who is down.
Yeah, he's down flat on his back. So I'm not sure. I didn't see what happened. Maybe he might have gotten dinged making a block.
Taiwan Jones on Sunday Night Football, boys. Last week against the New Orleans Saints, his first ever game in silver and black. And man, was he impressive. 13 carries, 81 yards, and a 22-yard touchdown, Tom. He also had a nice screenplay that was called back due to penalty, and 22-yard touchdown. He scooted the side. Not just speed, though. This guy knows how to set up blocks. He knows how to run the football.
Yeah, he didn't get many opportunities tonight like he did last week, but he showed enough, I think, last week to make this football team.
You know, and in this league, you know, so many times, you know, there's so many injuries and dings and whatnot that you need a good solid backup in a lot of these positions to carry the load sometimes and come through big time for your starters.
Taiwan Jones has certainly been impressive, not only in that game against New Orleans, but on the practice field. Remember, he missed the first 2 games with a hamstring injury. Combination of Darren McFadden, Michael Bush, and Taiwan Jones would be exciting this year. The Raiders are not going to call any more timeouts. They do have 3 left, but this will end it. And the preseason of 2011 will conclude. Raiders had a lot of injuries they had to kind of sift through. They got Jacoby Ford back tonight. Tom fed him the ball. Darius Hayward-Bay was out for the first couple of games. He came back and contributed well against the 49ers. He missed the first preseason game and threw some pass interference calls, but the head coach is a competitive guy. He's not going to be happy. He'll probably forget about it tomorrow when he cuts down the roster and gets set for Denver, but he wanted to win tonight to get a win in the preseason.
Well, he hasn't won his first game yet, and you'd like to get that out of the way in the preseason. People won't remember the preseason, but the most important game right now will be, right now is the next one, which is in Denver a week from Monday.
And I certainly hope they're prepared, because after what they did to Denver, both there and at home, but especially there, they're going to have their hands full. And hopefully they've got the mindset to take on Denver up there at Mile High.
First preseason for Hugh Jackson is done as the final seconds tick away. Raiders wind up 0-4, and the Seahawks go to 2-2. Tom Flores and I will be on radio coming up in a moment. And Jim, thanks for your time tonight as always and throughout the preseason. JT DeBrick will be back on TV to take you home 20-3. Seattle beats the Raiders tonight on the Raiders Broadcasting Network.